All right, everybody. We are going live. It has just been called. The breaking news: Deshaun Watson named the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns for Week 1 of the 2026 season against the Jacksonville Jaguars. It has just been called. This is an ongoing story. We will see if there's anything more to this. But happy start to your week. Happy Monday morning to you guys waking up. Again, breaking news just coming in from Cleveland that the Cleveland Browns quarterback controversy, it will be going to the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson over Shedeur Sanders. Deshaun Watson will make his first start since the 2024 season, obviously coming off the injury. Yeah, Browns are the Browns. Yep, I'll have to go 1-17. I don't blame you on that one. How's it going, Eagle fan? How's it going, Nikhil? Appreciate you guys being here for this one. If you like what you see, the like button, subscribe. We all knew it was going to happen. Yeah, I had a feeling Deshaun Watson did not look good last game, obviously. He's obviously said some stuff in the press conference. 5 for 12 last game against the Bills. In the second half against some second and third and fourth stringers with 36 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick. Despite a 14.6 passer rating last game. Despite being 1-6 in 2024 before the injury. And despite just not looking good at all. Yeah, it's a humiliation ritual. Yeah, look, as a Jaguar fan, I have no problem with it as a Jaguar fan. Because we play in Week 1. But just got announced by Schefter that Week 1, yeah, Browns gonna Browns, yeah. I put up a poll, do you agree with the decision? So far, it's 92% on the no. So far, it's overwhelming. You think Shedeur should be starting. You don't scared by the Browns fans? I think he's got sunk cost fallacy. I think Haslam is making the call. I think this is very much sunk cost fallacy. You should be QB3 and never play a game. I agree. I mean, that last game was embarrassing. That last game was absolutely embarrassing. This is terrible. Yeah, I don't blame you on that one. I don't blame you. Pencil the Jaguars win. Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. Yes, an AFC North opponent. I agree with this. I think so, Mr. Blaze. Master, considering everything he's done and said, I think so. No trade clause. I mean, he's got no value. I don't know if he has a no trade clause, but it's sunk cost fallacy. We know that Haslam's the one calling the shots. Seeing as you have to remember too with Haslam calling the shots on this one. Monken, based on the press conference, did not seem like he at all wanted any part of Watson, based on what he said about, hey, you deal with booing, you get better. Something like that. The Watson will get the job. We'll see if any statements are made about this. Yeah, Browns can be $127 million dead cap money. Yeah, it would be almost impossible to cut him. Gabriel QB3, yeah, sure it's going to be QB2. I think the Browns roster outside of quarterback is competitive, and Watson does bring him down a lot. Yeah, it really does. Yeah, the quarterback situation is it's a nightmare. The quarterback situation is an absolute nightmare. I think that goes without saying. As a Bengal fan, watch your defense crumble under where Deshaun Watson win. I mean, he was 1-6 in 2024. The one win coming against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, Watson was doing. Cleveland fans are rightfully ticked off, as they should be. As they should be. I don't see people being happy about this decision whatsoever. I don't see people happy about this in the slightest bit. Worst contract in sports history? It's up there. Considering everything he's done in the past and considering how we knew this was going to be bad, this seems up there. I mean, there are worse ones. There are other ones, like Nick Foles got $88 million for the Jaguars. He won no games in Jacksonville. Won't blame fans for not attending. The first 2 games are on the road for Cleveland. The first 2 games, you look at the Browns' schedule. They do play the Jaguars Week 1 on the road and the Buccaneers on the road Week 2. The first home game for the Browns is against the Carolina Panthers Week 3 at home guy people Jerry Verse. Yeah, to go from the Rams to the Browns and deal with that mess. Yeah, they should have one get out of cap hell card. Yeah, 17 away games. Yeah, because he was sucking. He's so close to understanding why people are booing him. He's so close to understanding why. How's it going, Lou? Yeah, the Browns are a clown show. I think it was a mistake. I don't blame you there. What players for the Texans get with the Browns picks? They got Will Anderson. They got Tank Dell. They got a lot of help. They got Lassiter as well, and they got oh man, yeah, they got a lot of help. The Texans got a lot of help. He's got no future in Cleveland or the NFL. Well, I think this is his last shot. I think this is very clearly Watson's last shot to do anything. If Watson does not succeed on this shot, I think he's done. I don't think any team's going to even want to take a chance on him, knowing the fact that he is not what he used to be, that he's a head case. He's done stuff off the field. He seems to be a locker room cancer. It'll be a nightmare. Yeah, one of them was Will Anderson Jr. Yep, Tom McCarthy, Robert Turman on the call for the Jaguars-Browns game week 1. Browns fans should not be going to home games. If they do, they need to relentlessly boo him. Oh, they're doing that already. I mean, they're relentlessly booing him already based on the Bills game. If that was any indication. The reception right now does not seem to be good. Again, remember the last game that Watson played in the second half against Buffalo's backups and third and fourth stringers. 5 for 12, 36 yards passing. I'm going to move the Browns to Cleveland was a dumb move. He needed to get the stadium. The way he did it was awful, but he needed a new stadium. Even if Shedeur Bay can get a good draft pick, so we have him again. I'm with you on that one. I think Shedeur can improve. Shedeur Sanders, is he good? No. No, let's get that out of the way. Shedeur Sanders is not a good quarterback, but I think he at least can improve. There's something potentially there. Deshaun Watson, there's nothing there. He's entering his, 10th season since getting drafted out of Clemson. He was not good before the injury. He has not been good in Cleveland across his time there. He's got 19 touchdowns in 19 games. He's been terrible for the Browns. A pass rating of 80 since 2022. The Browns are a failure. After this is bad. Texans win the Super Bowl. Is this the worst trade in NFL history, worse than Walker? I would say yes. Because at least with Herschel Walker, you could make the understanding that, number one, the Cowboys were not going to get rid of the players, and they were going to, you thought they weren't going to use all the picks. And number two, Herschel Walker didn't have any baggage going in. I would say yes on that one. SR Phillips for the tour. Team is absolutely clueless. I think this is Haslam's doing. I 100% think this is Haslam's doing. I said it yesterday when it was reported that they're going to make the announcement today. I said if I'm on stream and it is going to be Shedeur Sanders as the starter, that it was Monken's call. If not, it was Haslam's call. Based on reading between the lines in the press conference and reading between the lines of the on-field performance, I don't think this was Monken's call. You know, I feel bad for Jared Verse, too. I feel bad for him, too. Yeah, sure could be decent if Deion stops interfering. To be fair, yes. To be fair, Deion has not really interfered a ton since he got in. But we are right now with breaking news that Deshaun Watson is starting for the Cleveland Browns week 1. This is an ongoing story. We will see what happens. We have a new video on JG8 as well. If you haven't seen that, click that link above or below to watch. Yeah, the Pats' third-string quarterback is better than all the Browns' quarterbacks. I don't know about that. I take Shedeur over DeVito. I would probably do that. The owner is still trying to justify that absurd contract. Yep, he's got 120 million reasons why he wants Deshaun Watson starting. Harbaugh says the Browns, this is influenced by the owner. 100%. 100%. I absolutely think that this was a decision made by Haslam. Yeah, this was not Monken's call. I do not think this was Monken's call. We haven't had a statement put out yet, but this was not Monken's call. Walker had a couple good seats after the trade. I mean, not with Minnesota. Not really Minnesota. He was actually one of the worst starting running backs in football in Minnesota, but how is he still in the league? Because of all the guaranteed money owed to him. It comes down to that. Money talks at the end. He's got so much guaranteed money owed. And that is why he is that is why he's still there. Because he's not good. Let's get that out of the way. He is not good. Yeah, 100th quarterback Cleveland's had since 1999. His sunk cost fallacy. That's the only reason. Did I just wake up? Yep, literally just woke up. Literally woke up at 7 o'clock my time. Deion's a better life coach than the college coach. I would say, I mean, some of the lessons he teaches are bizarre, but that's a fact. I would say fact. Glenn Miles Garrett was straight out of the dumpster fire. Yeah, he's got the best chance he has of winning a ring with the Rams. He only sleeps 2 hours a day. Yep, you're in the factory status. You are the Browns are the Browns. He lives to see another day. He grew up in Cleveland. He lives to see another day. I mean, personally, I think this is an objectively terrible move for the Browns. At least Shedeur, you can see what you have in the young kid. If he's not good, he's not good. But Watson has not done anything since getting traded to the Browns. He's done absolutely nothing. His passer rating in Cleveland has been just 80. Yeah, okay, so saying this probably not well. Probably not well. His passer rating is just 80 with the Browns. He has been absolutely terrible. And he's coming off the injury too. He did not look good in preseason week 1 against the Bears in the preseason. Really a lot of checkdowns there. And then week 2 was an atrocity. Hey, stream today. We'll do an OT stream later tonight. Team was last start Jacksonville. Yep, that was the last start he won. Yep. Yeah, I thought no one they would name the start after the press release. Only the Browns, Justin. Only the Browns. It's sunk cost fallacy. I truly believe this is sunk cost fallacy on the part of the Browns. The Rams will beat the Dream Team. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's high praise, but I don't know about that. We also have news that the Saints are signing Daniel Carlson. We just have news there. Has him rank him on an all-time bad owners. I think after this, I think he's up there. He's top 15. Yeah, I like dear quarterback babysitter. Yeah, I think it's top 15. Making that trade and just pretty much spinning in the face of the fans. After everything the fans booing and Deshaun Watson pretty much calling out the fans, the fact that this happened is insane to me. But it's predictable. But the fact that this happened after what Watson said in the press conferences about not caring and not showing any remorse and just not being good at football, it's just not a good look in the slightest bit for Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns for him to be there. It really is not good. You understand why players on fully guaranteed contracts? Yep, I understand it too. After stuff like this, I completely get it. So since 2022, to give you an idea, since 2022, yeah, Woody Johnson's bad. Woody Johnson's real good. Dumbest decision ever made by a team? It's not like they were going to win a lot of games with Shedeur, so I don't want to say the dumbest decision, but making the trade was one of the dumbest decisions by a team. Yeah, after 2020, the Browns went from being back to being the left stock of the NFL. Yep. Are the Browns to do everything to get off the team? Yeah, I get it. I do not think this was Monken's call. I really do not think this was Monken's call. It makes Derek Anderson look like a crime. I should note, for the Cleveland Browns, to give you an idea of how bad Watson has been since 2022, since getting traded there. And again, that's before the injury. So all these stats I'm about to say are before the injury even happened. And the 1.5 year long recovery, and on top of that, the terrible performance in the preseason. And all the stuff off the field. Since 2022, there have been 45 quarterbacks to throw at least 550 passes. Deshaun Watson, out of those 45, ranks 41st in passer rating. The only ones worse than him, with that sample size since 2022, are Davis Mills, Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell, and Zach Wilson. Houston, I don't think they do at this point. I agree with the decision based off talent people want to see Sanders has because of his last name. No, I don't think Sanders is that good. I do not think Sanders is good, but at least he might be something. At the very least with Shedeur Sanders, you might have something. And he's young. And he's not necessarily a head case. How's Shedeur playing preseason? I mean, not great, but he's better than Watson. He threw a pick in the last game against Buffalo, but it was a tip pass. Again, he did not play great in the preseason by any means, but compared to how Watson played second game, it's terrible. Trade's one of the worst trades ever in the NFL. It's top 2. It's top 2 worst. Yeah, Monken would have Shedeur. I think so too. I wonder if Monken has lost soccer over this. Again, I don't think this is Monken's call. Reading between the lines in what happened during the press conference and what was said by Monken during the press conference about booing, I don't think this was Monken's call. Cleveland get Archer Dante Moore next year? Man, yeah. What are the odds the Browns ignore the legal red flags and sign Tucker? Well, he's not good. Problem said, when they got Watson, there was at least the idea that maybe he was a potentially good quarterback. Tucker has not been good in a long time. Watson been signed to the Mets contract we've been out of the league 2 years ago? Yes, I think so. With all the baggage off the field? Is this the version of the Nets trade for Garnett and Pierce? No, this is a little bit different than that. It's very different than that. Why on earth did Cleveland even add void years to the deal? Yeah, in fact, the thing was, I remember the deal was out. They were out on the deal, and then Haslam just came back in the last second. You know, Leonard Toe's up there for some of the worst starters too. The talent drain is real out there. Yes, it is. Again, it does not seem like the right move. Again, we're waiting for a statement from Monken, but it just came out. Again, I don't think this is Monken's call. We're waiting for a statement on that. Again, Tom Monken providing timeline on starting quarterback announcement that just came out a couple of moments ago, and now the decision made to start Watson. Even say with the contract, if he's on most teams, his career's over. Yeah, I would think so. But again, this is a guy, if you look at the Deshaun Watson and passer rating, which is a pretty good stat, 550 passing attempts of the quarterback since 22 to attempt at least 550 passes. Deshaun Watson ranks 41st out of 45. Yes, Cleveland, I want to say, I don't blame him that. Yeah, 10 years, $700 million contract section. How bad is Dylan Gabriel? I mean, he's not that gifted. Dylan Gabriel is not that physically talented. He is really not. He was always a reach after that Rose Bowl performance. He apparently has not had a bad camp. I mean, Gabriel has not looked good, I would say, in preseason, but he has not had a bad camp. But it was always going to be a 2-horse race with Shedeur and Watson. Your thoughts on the Seahawks game? The Seahawks, look, Jalen Milroe is not good. And Jason Myers, it might be time to have a conversation with Myers, because he does not look good so far in preseason. He missed a couple of kicks, an extra point, and a field goal. But I do think the backups played very well in the first half of that game against the Titans starters. Yeah, sure is better in practice and preseason games. Amen to that. Yep, absolutely. Dylan Gabriel's worse than Tua. Yeah, without the concussion, so that one, yeah. How watched him received more accusations than yards per attempt? Very washed up. Bruce came over for 36 months, hard to believe been for 3 years. Yeah, time flies, man. Time flies. Appreciate you, man. We have appreciate you. It's out of that one. We have the context to Watson's legal issues. Who Cleveland moved on from what they gave up and what they paid Watson. This is indeed the worst trade history. I think so. Because again, at least with Herschel Walker, you could make the argument that you didn't know what the Cowboys were doing, and with the picks, and that they were running back away, and he had no baggage with him. Number of Browns tells us here, if Watson's the guy, 0. Baker's hurt the shoulder, things would be so different. Although, Baker, to be fair, he needs to grow up. Baker was not mature in Cleveland. After the whole thing with the Green Bay game, playing video games before that game, he was announced the starter. Now, granted, I don't know how you can say we got rid of Baker because we need to have an adult in the room, and then you get Watson. That seemed like a big-time mistake. But, again, just to give you an idea, you have the Seahawks playing Cardinal, Bud Clark. That sucks. It sucks. He was a second-round pick. Just sucks because he was very good in college. You good for Myles Garrett to get out of Cleveland? Yep. How bad do you think the Dolphins are going to be? I think pretty bad. They don't have a lot of talent on that team. And I don't understand the strategy of signing Malik Willis, making him the franchise quarterback, and then giving him no receivers to work with. I don't understand it. I do not understand it. Is Eagles fan? Yeah, Cleveland is real sports. Yeah, they deserve a lot better. I don't like Shedeur for the attitude issues, but I'd rather think Adivu plays well than whatever the crap Watson did. I will say, Shedeur, this camp, he seems to have a level head. I will say, Shedeur Sanders, to his credit, based on everything he said in camp, he seems to have his head on straight. At least compared to Watson, who doesn't give two craps about anything. Oh, they're drafting QB round 1. Absolutely. Yeah, no, they're not going to be with Watson after this season. But at least they have Jose Ramirez. At least they have that. Again, just to give you an idea of how bad Deshaun Watson has been for the Cleveland Browns, this is a guy that... not that. This is a guy that, since 2021, there have been 52 quarterbacks to attempt 550 passes. In terms of passer rating, Deshaun Watson, of those 52 quarterbacks, is ranked 49th. So in the last 5 years, among guys to attempt as many passes, he is 49th. The only quarterbacks worse since 2021 are Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell, and Zach Wilson. Which is just, that gives you an idea of just how bad Watson has been. Yet despite all that, they have about 250 million reasons, or I guess 128 now, not to play Shedeur Sanders. It's just insane. It is absolutely insane. Damn, all the two are both Watson sure suck. I mean, I agree on that one. I don't think Shedeur is the answer, but I think he's got more potential, at least, than Watson at this point. Just by salary, amen to that, NKC. Yep. Why are they doing this? Salary. They want to justify the salary. Maybe between $230 million for Kenny Pickett. Yeah, pretty much. Plus, the Jags look this preseason. We haven't really played the starters. We have some holes at backup quarterback and linebacker, which I knew going into the season, so no one's gotten hurt, so that's all I can really ask for. Your son calls fallacy, yeah, that's fine. See, how many bad quarterbacks are ahead of him? Of those 52 that I mentioned, or 55 that I mentioned, 3 of them. That's it, of those 3. Think Browns sell the home games? No, I think fans are fed up. Because he called out the fans. He basically called out the fans. He has not shown any respect to anyone, and now this decision makes it clear that they're not that. It's a Haslam ego-driven move to do that. It was an ego-driven move. Being too harsh? Sure. No, he has not been good. Let's go for what. Sure, Sanders does not look good so far this preseason. You're going to be in trouble either way. You Jets and Browns seem to want each other in worst run franchise. I mean, sure, Sanders threw more picks and touchdowns last year. He did not show a lot of arm strength. He made a lot of mistakes. He did not look good. But I think he looked better this preseason than Deshaun Watson, because I think Deshaun is just completely washed at this point. Yeah, bad move, but if Sanders actually good, would have gotten the job. I don't even know about that. I truly don't know. I think Shedeur did play better. I really do think Shedeur played better. Yeah, clearly a 10 spin. Yeah, Watson, there you go. He holds on the ball way too long. I do agree with that. I do think Shedeur showed some signs of improvement. Watson has regressed. Rams head into the season, they're the favorites. They're absolutely the favorites to win it all. With that defensive line, absolutely the favorites to win it all. Boom, Lally every time he steps onto the field. Yep, and they deserve to. They have every right to. With the way he's acted, the way he's played, they have every right to. At least Brent's clubs twice in the early 2020s. I don't know about that. The fans deserve better. Brent's going 17. Fiction on that. I think the defense might be at least decent enough to get some wins. Once it gets started again, we'll make a statue of him in Cleveland. Jeez. Where the Browns will be an eternal locale until it has themselves a team. Absolutely. Until it has themselves a team. They're a mess. I wish I could say I'm surprised that Deshaun Watson is a starter, but this is the Browns we're talking about. That is true. Why does Andrew Berry still have a job? That's another good question. I think Andrew Berry, his last draft class saved him. The last draft class that Andrew Berry had was a really, really good one, and that's probably why he is still there. Donald's not officially on retired yet for nights. No. Yeah, we have real football this week with how it started. Yep, we have a game on Thursday, and we do 3 games on Saturday. I cannot wait for that. Yeah, LMAO on this one. Yeah, you're not wrong on that one, Matthew. You are not wrong there. Yeah, I think the reason why he still has a job, the Mason Graham looked good. Carson Schweisinger played very well last year. Judkins, Fannin. They made some good picks. They made some really, really good picks last year. I think that is why Berry still has a job. But I think this might be the nail in the coffin if the Browns are not good this year. Because you only keep them on for so long. You can only do it for so long. Outside Pickett, Zach Wilson, and Hal, which quarterback is the best shot to revive their career? Out of those 3, I would say the best shot would be... that's tough. I mean, Hal's bounced around so many spots. Wilson, he's what he is at this point. I'd probably say Pickett. I'd probably go Pickett on that, but it's not... Neither of them have a great shot. Neither of them have really improved or shown any flashes whatsoever. Mr. Theory, the Browns fans have... that hasn't made the call or hasn't made the trade yet. I definitely think so. Because they were out on the trade. Like years ago when they made that trade, they were out on that one. And then they were in. Sure, Gabriel get traded this season. Well, Gabriel's not getting traded. I could see Shure's not getting traded. I could see Gabriel getting traded. I could definitely see Gabriel being traded. But Shure's not getting traded. Sure will be the backup, but I think he's going to start at some point. Odds of big return in Cleveland, 0%. 0%. That bridge has been burned. Best place for advanced analytics? Well, I don't know on that one. I would say probably, I mean, PFF might be the closest bet on that one. Maybe, but it's a good question. I'm not sure on that one. Again, Deshaun Watson said on Saturday after the game, I think the whole world knows about the booing is nothing to do with performance. It's a little bit more personal than that, so I think it's a disrespectful thing. I'm going to keep whatever I feel with me and my family internally on how I feel about that, and yeah, just move on, which probably not the right way to respond to booing when you went against backup and third stringers against Buffalo, 5 for 12 with 36 yards. Ajax prospect that they'll cut, I think, and regret it. I think Trevor Pena. I'm not sure Pena makes the roster. I think that will be a mistake. Odds of Jets or Cardinals for Gabriel midseason? Well, the Cardinals would not. The Cardinals have Carson back. They have Minshew. They have 3 quarterbacks. So they have Brissett. They're fine. They don't need Gabriel. The Jets, I don't think they're going to do it either. I think you look at a team that would trade, it'd be a team that needs a backup quarterback. And neither of those teams need one. Neither of those teams need one. If you're just tuning in, breaking news here. According to multiple reports, the Browns are going with Deshaun Watson week 1, despite everything that he's done and said, and despite the fact that he is the 52nd best passer out of 55 since 2021. Deshaun Watson is starting. Oh, no, they're pathetic. I'm with you. After the story about being booed are pathetic, I am 100% with you. Yeah, they have soft skin. I mean, there are some exceptions, but what the fans said is not one of them. At least 2 legendary players have the last name Sanders, so you can bring back one as prime. Which do you choose? Ooh, man. Man, that is tough. Bring one as prime? I would say Barry. But that's tough. We're customers, not your friends. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Dolphins drafted multiple receivers this year. They all had good cams and some flesh and joy practices. And first preseason game, they didn't play second game. Yeah, the Dolphins, they did not look at the last game against the Giants. They did not look at that game. They drew up some receivers, but I mean, I'm not sure going into the season with Tutu Atwell as one of your top guys is the best move. Yeah, but I'm 100% with you on that. You have every right to boo within reason. Obviously, like a player, like there are some exceptions to the rule, but this one doesn't fall under that at all in the slightest bit. Especially with everything Watson's done and said. Off the field and on the field, he's been terrible. Again, 5 for 12 last game, 36 yards passing. If you're just tuning in, we will stay on for the next, I'd say, we're going to stay on for an hour, so we're 24 minutes in. If you like what you see, folks, hit the like button, subscribe, helps out a ton. About the money owed, amen to that. Yep, I'm with you on that one, Justin. I truly think this decision was a decision made by Haslam. It was a decision made entirely by Haslam because of sunk cost fallacy. That is entirely why I think this decision was made. Or if you get booed for and hurt, that's bad, but just for play, yeah, I'm with you on that one. Yeah, you deserve to get booed. You went 5 for 12 against guys on Buffalo that are not making the roster. Some demoralizing knowing your team isn't even trying to win Super Bowl. Nope, I'm with you there. Or today we'll do overtime stream later tonight at like 6:30 Eastern time. So we'll do an OT stream at about 6:30 Eastern time on that one. You got intercepted by DeCorey Couch. You're making $250 million. You got intercepted by DeCorey Couch. It's like, what are we doing here? In that case, yes, Dylan. Yes, in that case, they would. Yep, in that case, they would. Texans, they have a top 10 defense all time. Texans are going to be really good this year, 49ers. Yeah, Haslam should have sold a long time ago. They make the horrible decision as per usual. Yep, and the sad part is I think a lot of people saw it coming. You were not going to do well either way in that quarterback room, but at the very least, I think Shedeur Sanders would at least given you some hope. Yeah, I'm not saying he's any good, but I do think Shedeur has looked better than Watson, at the very low bar at least. Remember we were saying this when Watson sucks, watch him put Sanders at the end of the season? I think they will. I don't think he's going to start the entire season. I think Monken will make the switch at some point. Is what that wild card loss sunk back then, the fact that I may have contributed to all this happening, yeah, it's hysterical. I don't blame you on that. I don't blame you. I have contributed to all of that. Time to go Bernie Kosar in here. Archman refused to play for the Browns if he got drafted there. Well, you can't. I wouldn't see him doing that, but I could see him going back to college for another year. If he's the consensus #1 pick and the Browns get the 1 pick, I could see that at least. I could see the family stepping in, just like they did with the Chargers and they did with the Jets in 98, or 97, I should say. I could see that. Yeah, Sarah's maybe basically nothing, yeah. As you know, I grew up going Eagles games as a kid. That's my position on who came from. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Why is Monken so stupid? I don't think this is Monken's call, Oski. I don't think this is Monken's call. I'd say Browns trade Gabriel midseason. Well, he wouldn't trade him midseason. You're not trading quarterback midseason because the guy learned the playbook. So I would say on midseason 1%. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen now. I think still 49ers. Yeah, another good offense, bad defense season. I think so. But I'm not crazy about that offensive line. I think Burrow might get hurt behind that. Rather the Ottawa Redblacks in the Browns situation. Yeah. Yeah, again, I do not think this is Monken's decision. I think this is Haslam's decision. Based on everything Monken said, I do not think this was his decision. I really do not think this was his decision in the slightest bit. Because he's looked like the worst quarterback. And remember what Monken said after that. He said, you don't want to get booed. Let's play good football. Let's play good at quarterback. Then you don't have to worry about that. So I really don't think this was his call. Yeah, there has to be a presser coming up. Yeah. Players go back to college or playing on a team. That should not be allowed. There should be a rule that if you play in the NFL after leaving college and you go back to college, you're never allowed to play in the NFL again. It's that bad in Cleveland, Dylan. Yep, you're not kidding on that one. It's that bad. You know, a lot of questions to be asked, so we'll get some answers in a little bit. I'm assuming we'll have a press conference in just a little bit. Yeah, Bill Scholes from elusive to Watson. Yep. Yeah, well, yeah, sell the team, Jimmy. I'm with you on that one. I am with you on that one. I am with you there. But yeah, in case you see, it shouldn't be allowed. The NFL should make a rule that if you sign for an NFL team and then go back to college, you can't play in the NFL again. That should be a rule. If you like my Steve folks, hit the like button, subscribe. Again, the news coming in: Deshaun Watson named the starting quarterback for the first week of the season against the Jacksonville Jaguars, which oddly enough was the last time Watson won a game, was week 2 of the 2024 season in Jacksonville. I don't think it's a hot take, NKC. I mean, he was a first-round pick for a reason, and he's developing in a good spot. How many does Watson make it? I think he'll get replaced at halftime of week 3. That's my guess. I think he gets replaced halftime week 3. Well, they don't need a formal minor league. They really don't need that. It's not an argument for it. It's more an argument for the NCAA to get their crap together. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, he's in a good spot, NKC. Yeah, for years of NCAA screwing those kids over, it's nice to finally see them get there. Nah, but now they're screwing other kids over. This is still screwing other kids over. Just a different way. How's this team getting a new home dome and this grab is beyond me. Yeah, it's crazy. Yep. Yeah, Freewood Simulated Team is back together. Look, the last time the Browns last time Deshaun Watson won a game was against the Jaguars, so not celebrating anything yet, but as a Jaguar fan, I'd much rather play Watson than Shedeur. How about if the Jags beat the Browns? I do think we win. I do think we win. Again, the Browns defense is pretty good. Trevor's always struggled against the Browns defense, so again, no Jim Schwartz. So I don't know. Again, nothing's guaranteed in the NFL. I do think Jags win that game, but again, nothing's guaranteed in the NFL. Especially because we haven't played the starters yet, so I have no idea what to even expect necessarily. But yeah, if you just tune in, Deshaun Watson, despite being the 52nd best passer since 2021 out of 55 quarterbacks, out of those with 550 passing attempts or more. How many wins for the Browns? I'm going to say 4. So we'll speak at 12 o'clock Eastern time. We will not be on at that point. We will not be on. So when the media schedule is going to speak at 12. Yeah, we will not be on by that. You aren't wrong, just hard. Yeah, I mean, NCAA, like, they had years to get their crap together. I'm with you on that one, Toxic. I am with you there. But I truly think this was not his call. Reading between the lines, again, I've said before, but reading between the lines based on the press conferences and based on the performances on field and off field, I truly do not think this was his call. I truly do not think Monkey made the call on this one. Yeah, remember, they kind of bungled the situation too. They bungled the coaching situation. Haslam did when he got Monk in, and the whole thing was a guy that would work for Schwartz, but never consulting Schwartz, so then Schwartz left. So I truly think Haslam is just clueless with sunk cost fallacy, has a giant ego. Great move, appreciate this as a Ravens fan. Yes, a Jaguar fan, I appreciate this. Having to play in week 1. But it is a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare for Browns fans, and I don't blame them for this. I do not blame the Browns fans for being unhappy about this. As a Browns fan, I'm tired of throwing young Wicks into the fire. Watson says all of a sudden crap because he joined the Browns. What? Well, he's just bad. I mean, you can be tired of throwing young Bucks into the fire, but it's not because he joined the Browns that he's bad. He's bad because he's bad. Again, he has attempted 557 passes since coming to Cleveland. Of guys to attempt 550 passes since 2021, Watson ranks 52nd in passer rating. It's not that he's bad because he's on the Browns. He's bad because he's a bad quarterback. And now he's even worse because of coming off the injuries, and he did not look good. I mean, this is a guy that played the third stringers against Buffalo last time, had a passer rating of 14.6 against third stringers. Looked so uncompetitive. Just so I watched the new JG vid. Yeah, that just dropped. The link is below on that one. That video, it is about a situation involving Iowa football in 1993. It's a fun story. It just dropped, so click that link to watch. Yeah, but again, Modern Swag, it has nothing to do with just dunking on the Browns. He is a bad quarterback. He is a legitimately bad quarterback. Oh, the Burger King, right? Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. When I read that press conference, I'm like, wait, you think people get drunk at a Burger King? Like, what? Like, have you ever been to a Burger King? Or at least know what it is. Even once it was also Browns to find a way to root it. Ruin a wet dream. I mean, Watson has just not been good. Watson, let's go for it. Watson has just not been good. And now some of them serve beers. Now some of them have alcohol. Now some of them serve alcoholic beverages. Yes, they do. Yes, passer rating, yep, which is worse than another respectable on the ground every single play. Yep, his passer rating last game was 14.6 against third stringers. And again, when he was healthy, his passer rating was 52nd out of 55 quarterbacks. You seriously they spent money on Watson, who's been really good. What? Watson has not been really good. Watson has not been really good. Again, no one's saying that this is a mistake to not start Shedeur because Shedeur's a great quarterback. No one's saying that slow motion. Thoughts on Tennessee quarterback? Don't know much about him, but I guess we'll see. What is he on the Texans? Well, when he was on the Texans, he led the league in passing yards. But then he sat out for a year and got injured. When he sat out for a season, he lost all his abilities. He was playing third stringers also. Yeah, it's not really an excuse to go 5 for 12. Does Ferenc retire for this year? I'm going to say no on that. Yeah, as an organization, it's a mess. Emergency live for the news. Yeah, what's surprised it was either guy? I had a feeling it was going to be Watson, based on just Haslam's interference. Again, this is not about being upset that Shedeur's not starting. Shedeur's not a good quarterback. Let's get that out of the way. You're screwed either way. At the very least, Shedeur Sanders is a young guy who has shown potential. Good morning, right? See you, or I guess good evening to you over there. Always walks to bench. I was going to say halftime week 3. Well, I see all the points slow motion. I'm getting to literally everyone. On this one. Yeah, where's this one? He literally led the league in pass yards. He was a good quarterback on the Texans. In 2020, that was eons ago. 2020 was a long time ago. Look, 2020 is not 2026. 2020, Rodgers was the best quarterback in football. No one's saying that now. Most complicated sport, I'd say football. So many moving parts to that one. What potential? Again, I'm not saying he has a lot of potential, but compared to Watson, at least he's a second-year guy. Watson has regressed since 2020. Oh, he's mentally out there. I'm with you on that one. Yep. Only owners are interfering in a way that would cause the team to sell the tickets. Yep. Well, they're up there. They're one of them, at least. They're one of them. Yeah, Watson, I'm going to say week 3. Again, I don't think Shedeur's a good quarterback. When Shedeur have a good game? I'm not saying he ever has. You know, are the dogs on drugs? Yeah, I think this is Haslam's call. I'm not saying he ever has. I mean, the Titans game, he was good. The Titans game, when he threw 3 touchdowns, I think that was a good game for Shedeur. He's Chris Hesse, yep. Say his potential now, he doesn't. Well, more than Watson. Compared to Watson, at least Shedeur can improve. At least Shedeur Sanders can improve. I'm not saying he's good. Believe me, this is not me saying that Shedeur Sanders should be starting because he's a Pro Bowl quarterback. This is not me saying that Shedeur Sanders should be starting because he could be a top 10 quarterback. This is not that. This is Deshaun Watson has lashed out at the fans. Deshaun Watson had a 12 passer rating against the Bills, against backups. Deshaun Watson has had the 52nd best pass rating out of 55 quarterbacks since getting traded to the Browns. You want college natty? That was 11 years ago! That was 11 years ago! You want to live in the past? You want to live in the past of that one, slow motion? Like saying Stetson Bennett should be the starting quarterback of the Rams because he won a college natty at Georgia. Yeah, that's eons. I don't know slow motion. I don't know what that even means. You don't want to admit that it's trading John Cottrell gave him a mistake yet. Sunk cost fallacy. Entirely JLX. I'm with you on that one. Yeah, they can't say it publicly, but that's entirely what Haslam's doing. Yeah, thanks for the 2 free wins, Steven. Yep. When did I ever say that, slow motion? Slow motion, when did I ever say that? When did I ever say that he does... Look, they're not good at quarterback either way. Yes, Cy Browns. You're not kidding zombie on that one. Yeah, that's excellent bait. Slow motion. Excellent bait. You already made a mistake with going on this morning. He spent money, doesn't want to cut bait. Yeah, exactly. They have 130 million reasons. Look, it's nothing to do with who's the backup. Believe me, it's nothing to do with who's the backup. This is not about Shedeur Sanders being a good quarterback. This is about Deshaun Watson just sucking. Right? When is Jay Coker going to start job? He won a natty, yeah. Sanders not good at quarterback. Watson's lost cause. Why am I defending the decision so hard? Because Watson has not been good. At least Sanders is on a rookie contract, and Shedeur's look better. Not by much, but Shedeur's look better. Watson is not good in 6 years. Yeah, we know it needs to be done week 1. Yeah, they should work out the season. Yeah. Yeah, no, Browns fans are not happy about this. Look, I put it this way. 90% of you think Watson should not be starting. 90% of you. You're in the minority, slow motion on that one. You're in the minority. No one's saying Watson was not a good quarterback. I think Gabriel should have been starting. No one's saying Watson was not a good quarterback at one point in time. That was 6 years ago. Since he sat out a season, he's been rusty. And now he's coming off injury. He looks worse than he did the last couple seasons when he was still one of the worst quarterbacks in football. Where they're not good either way. They're screwed either way. They're screwed either way. Heaven Strong's 1-1. He sat out because he was unhappy with the Texans. Yeah, it's Shedeur. There you go, Nick. Yep. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, it's not about bringing more money than Watson. It's not about that. Again, I'm not saying Shedeur's a good quarterback by any means. I've never been on the Shedeur train. I've never said he's a good quarterback. But what I am saying is that he's better than Watson at this point. Right? If you're going to be hated, you better be good. Yep. Quarterbacks got better 4 years, 5 years, 6 years into the career. Yeah, but this slate, it's tough. It's tough. It's hard for a quarterback to be really good than really bad for 6 years and then go back to being good. It's really, really tough on that one. Really tough. I'm just saying the facts, slow motion. I'm just saying the facts. The decision comes down to starting Watson, Sanders, and Gabriel. You have to trade for quarterback. Absolutely. Look, no one is saying that they're making a mistake not starting Shedeur because they go 12-5 with Shedeur. No one's saying that. What? Because somebody's in my... Wait, I don't even know what you're talking about, slow motion. I don't even know what you're talking about. You just lost the argument completely, so I'm not even going to respond. It's an ad hominem. You just lost the argument completely. Yeah, for more favorable for my team. Yeah, I'm happy about this. Is for my team, at least. For my team. They start 0-3 or 1-4. I feel like a change come. I think halftime week 3. Yeah, I filmed Shedeur's draft pick. I literally filmed the pick. Yeah, looking forward to draft quarterback in 27 draft. Yeah, absolutely. You know, you don't know me, slow motion. I'll put it that way. You don't know me. I debated everyone. You don't know me at all. You're living in delusion. Is he actually Watson Burger account? Probably, yeah. Probably there. Probably. Yeah, boo, slow motion. Oh, boo. 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 You're living in denial. I'll put it that way. If you think a guy that is 52nd out of 55 in passer rating the last 6 years, since 2021, since we were wearing masks and having half-empty stadiums, if you think that, I mean, that says a lot. Yeah, it has to be Watson's burner. Has to be. Because or Haslam's burner. It's one of the two. It's definitely one of the two. Got me going, though, this morning. I like it. I do like it. It got me going this morning. I can appreciate it, yeah. I can appreciate it. Yeah, if you're just tuning in, the breaking news, Deshaun Watson, the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson, the starting quarterback. Last game, 5 for 12. The Browns have also officially waived Daquan Wright. That just got announced by Schefter, the tight end who was going to try to go back to Ole Miss. Sure it's not Dabo. Yeah, sure it's not Dabo Sweeney. Browns have another quarterback in 27. I think they're on that track because, again, neither one's that good. Watson pseudo against the Jags, yeah. And he was good against the Jags who was in Houston. Yeah, watch out. Yep. Yeah, if we don't beat Watson, the season's over. Yeah, going crazy on the spur here. Dylan taking over week 5? No, Dylan's not taking over week 5. Dylan, he's not taking over week 5. I think Shedeur will take over week 3. You know, the whole point of the stream slow motion is because of this. This is the whole point. It's an emergency live stream for a reason, slow motion. I don't know if you know how to read, but the whole point is emergency live stream. Deshaun Watson name starts, so we're talking about the news. I don't even know why you want me to get on a new topic. That's the whole point of the stream. That's literally the entire point of the stream. You don't get to tell me how to run my channel, slow motion. You do not get to tell me how to run my channel. Who wins the quarterback, bad versus bad? Yeah. Look, they're screwed either way. Yeah, I'm sorry your orders on drugs. Yeah, I feel bad for Browns fans. Yeah, because Haslam was just a nightmare. Yeah, but you don't get to tell me how to run my channel. Odds Watson bench for week 10, very high. Very, very high. Very, very high. Very, very high. I think he's benched for week 3. I think the first home game he's going to get benched. Archman Cleveland 27. I could see the Mannings just not doing anything. I could see the Mannings having Manning go back to college if it gets back to that point. Just like they had Eli Manning. They say he's not going to the Chargers or Peyton Manning to the Jets in 97. Yeah, how can his players performance half a decade ago be relevant? Yeah, it's not even it's more than half a decade ago. Right, if you can't be Watson, my rent's going to be insane on that one. Can't wait forever. All this Watson have his Achilles get plucked like a guitar string again. Yeah, because he can't stay healthy. That's the other thing, too. He has not been healthy in Cleveland. But again, this guy is 52nd on 55 in passer rating. Again, it's not really about Shedeur Sanders not being the starter. It's more Deshaun Watson being the starter. Not saying Shedeur's any good, but I think compared to Watson, he's just a hair better and also less baggage. Yards Paul and Eli, I think if it comes down to the Browns, yeah. I think it comes down to that. I think it comes down to that. You know, Jago seems the Browns are coming? I think so. I think so. I appreciate you, DSP, on that one. Appreciate you a ton. Yeah, no, if there was pro well, the Browns would have been in the second tier and third tier a long time ago. I'm with you on that one. Dad, sister, other relatives of Browns fans? Yeah, they're not going to be happy about this. I don't think any Browns fans, from what I can tell, again, 89% of you do not agree with the decision. And the reaction on Twitter, the reaction on every platform does not seem to be good. And I don't blame him, seeing as Watson flat out called out the fans for booing him. Any more teams to lock for a number one pick? Well, the Browns have at least enough of a defense, and they might make a change at some point. Cardinals have a tough schedule. Obviously, the Dolphins don't have a lot of talent. The Jets at quarterback are kind of a mess. I don't think they're a lock this year for the one pick. And I'm not sure about the Falcons either. Not sure about the Falcons. This way, do you see any teams more of a lock? Oh, wait, I already did that. The Browns draft Dante Moore. I think if they have the first pick of Manning's on the board, I think it will be that. I'm gay. I see him gaying to you. No, you're not. You're not. You're actually entertaining me. You're not getting to me slow motion. Now you're just being silly at this point. Yeah, I'm Steeler fan. I think I made the wrong call. Yep. Yeah. I don't ban anyone, so you can stay and say what you want, but just keep that in mind. You are not getting to me. I literally have nowhere to be. But yeah, if you just tuned in, the breaking news: Deshaun Watson, after going 5 for 12 with 36 yards passing in the second half against the Bills with a pass rating of 14.6 and calling out the fans. He is named the starter, still has all that money. If you look at Deshaun Watson's contract, let's take a look at that one, the contract that he signed, the 5-year, $230 million contract. They can void it after this season. They do have a pretty big dead cap hit. Oh, no, it's all good over on that one. It's all good on that one. All good on that. Here's the contract for Deshaun Watson. They cut him $127 million in dead cap. They can void it. There's still some dead cap, but they can void it next season and get out of this. Yeah, Browns, Falcons, tank, commander, yep. Is Watson that bad? Yes, Watson is that bad. I will put it this way with Deshaun Watson. I will put it this way. Out of 55 quarterbacks that have thrown 550 passes since 2021, Deshaun Watson is 52nd in passer rating. Out of 550 quarterbacks since 2021 to throw at least 550 passes. Out of those 55 quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson is 52nd. Yeah, the added void years are what make it so much worse. Yeah, they didn't need to do it. They didn't need to do it. And UFO quarterbacks again. Like, they didn't even need to do it. That's the other part. Like, I can show you the list of those guys. Of the guys since 2021, actually out of 52 is what I meant to say. Out of the 52 quarterbacks, Yeah, it's Haslam forced his hand. I don't think Monken made the call. Based on what Monken said in the press conference, based on on-field performance, I think this is entirely Haslam's doing. Entirely Haslam's doing. Again, here are the quarterbacks to attempt 550 passes since 2021. Of those guys, you see the pass rating, Purdy with the highest, Drake May, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff. You see what it is. And then you go down the line, Will Levis, Desmond Ridder, Aiden O'Connell, Jameis Winston, Justin Fields, Taylor Heineke, who's out of the league at this point, Cooper Rush, Bryce Young, and then Deshaun Watson, 49th since 2021 in passer rating, behind Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell, and Zach Wilson. The only three guys worse in passer rating are three journeymen who have just not been good and have thrown fewer touchdowns than picks. You want to avoid your contract? I have no idea. There was no reason to do it. Haslam should be fired? Well, you can't fire an owner, but he should sell the team. I'm with you on that one. Right, bring in Pavia for entertainment? Yes, he should do that. Yeah, he should do that. The Browns have no ability to eat this and cut him? Yeah, that would be more catastrophic. Yeah, this contract made no sense. And the fact is, you have to remember, you have to remember with the contract, you have to remember that the Browns were out on the trade. The Browns were out before they did the guaranteed contract. My out-touch thing was a shocker? No, I'm not shocked by this. I think the sad part is that I'm not shocked. I expected when I woke up today that it would be Watson as a starter because I thought it was going to be Jimmy Haslam having his way and having say over Monken. I thought going in, Bryce Young that low, although he was better last year, but the first couple of years were rough. Bryce Young, his first year was 73.7. He's gotten better at least every year, but I'm not surprised by the news. I said when I woke up that if it's going to be Sanders, it was Monken's call. If it was going to be Watson, it is the call of Haslam. Any UFL guys coming into the FL next season from last season this spring? Not that I can think of, unfortunately. Not that I can think of. You pick it how Watson, to be honest, should be hired, so Watson will be last. Yep. Yeah, they've thrown a little bit more passes. But again, this is a guy in Watson who's just not been good since 2020 when he was with the Texans. Injuries ago. Very much injuries and attitude ago. But again, there you see it on the screen in terms of the stats. This will be Watson's first start since 2024 in a regular season game. The last time he won a game in the regular season was against Jacksonville in Week 2. But the last time he played, 2024, again, he was not good. Played just 63% of his passes. Pass rating of 79. Has him with Stevie Jerry Jones. Yeah, I would say, but at least Jerry Jones won some stuff, and at least he's getting better. At least Jerry Jones is getting better. But by default slow motion, isn't that just like, aren't you doing the same thing just in reverse? Yeah, call me, talk. How's it going, DJ Jane? Yep, emergency live stream. Imagine Browns fans booing the sky on Saturday and finding out money because they're starting quarterback. Yeah, I'd be living if I'm a Browns fan. Wait for sure react to lose, probably just laughing. Oh, I'd be laughing up a storm if I was a division rival fan. Who said Justin Fields was next to Michael Vick? No one was saying that. Yeah, breakfast roll, JG9 breaking news next. Yep. Yeah, in 2020 we'll call Watson the next star quarterback. I mean, to be fair, he was. He was on that track. He led the league in passing yards. He was good with the Texans. 3 straight seasons of Pro Bowls. Means they're going to tank for Arch. Doesn't sound too bad. I don't think it means they're tanking for Arch. I don't think it does. I don't think this is what it means. Browns Kings in the NFL, pretty much. Yeah, bad ownership. Just stuck in hell. Yeah. Watson picked on Twitter already saying elimination Browns. The third option is a draft pick. Yeah, Fields is still in the league with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's not any good. He holds onto the ball for way too long. He took a really bad sack against the Bucs where he was backpedaling 20 yards. He looked terrible in that game. But again, the breaking news here, Deshaun Watson starting for the Browns week 1. Decision made. Yeah, there you go. Just stink for Julian. GPS going to go live soon? Yeah, they're probably laughing at the news. It's probably the main story for them. Being active for 5 years, so they're going to be something. Yeah, but again, the media is not what. You realize they can have different opinions, right? You do realize different people are part of the media. You do realize that the media is not one person. It's many different people who have very different opinions. You're using the media as like an all-encompassing term. Right, first game is our Jags, Bucks, Panthers. They could go 1-2, but hopefully it's not the Jags full game. 31 teams remain in the hunt for 14 playoff spots. Yeah, Watts fell after the controversy, had potential. Then he got hurt. He sat out a season. He was very rusty. anytime a guy is out for a season and they're just rusty like that, you don't know how they're going to be coming back. Plus the injury, plus the attitude, plus everything, just a nightmare. But let's see like it was working on that. Yeah, that's my thing, slow motion. I think that's the thing. I'm not saying Shedeur is good. No one is realistically saying that. I don't agree with anyone saying that Shedeur is a good quarterback. He's not. But at least he's working on stuff and is improving. He is improving. There's at least signs that he's improving from year 1 to year 2. I'm not saying he's good. Watson has not improved. Watson has improved. What's generic media opinion? It's one of two things. It's either you start Watson or you start Sanders. It's not generic media opinion. It's also not generic media opinion to say that a guy sucks for having 27 allegations against him. You claim for new ways to ruin the season as quick as possible. Almost impressive, yep. Not serious moments. These decisions are why the Browns are the Browns. The only thing running well at all for Watson's mouth. Pretty much. Yeah, that press conference was embarrassing. KPK. That press conference was embarrassing for Watson. It was a really embarrassing press conference where he called out the fans for booing him for poor play. It was just not the smartest to look for him. But then again, he said a lot of things that I just not agreed with in the slightest bit. 18 games in 5 years, yeah, it's terrible. And it's not like he's played well in the 18 games. It's not like he did that. It's not like he's even played well in those 18 games. Across those games, or 19 games, 19 touchdowns across 19 games with a pass rating of 80.7. Shedeur Sanders returned to Colorado following this controversial decision, but his numbers were tired there. Yeah, I don't say that's a generic. I don't say Sanders and Fields are good. I think they're not good. I actually don't think either of them are good. That's not generic media opinion. I was never high on them. I was never high on Fields. I'll be the first to say I was never high on Fields. I thought Fields held on to the ball for way too long. I was not impressed with him at Ohio State after the Big Ten championship game against Indiana. It's popular with that, but I never said I think you're confusing people. I never said that. Yeah, if they want Sanders to learn, they got him playing time. Yep. I think Watson's only getting worse. Sure, at least could get better with playing time. Watson is getting worse and worse each year. Sure, could at least get better with playing time. Also doesn't have the baggage. Also does not have the baggage. Yeah, I don't even know what that means, slow motion. I honestly don't even know what that means. What? Okay, like Rush Limbaugh in the chat or something? Like Donovan McNabb 2003? What the heck? As a Browns fan, he's going to get booed out of it. Oh yeah, he was already getting booed. Now it's going to get even worse. Because Watson was not good last game against third stringers. They're not making the team, let alone actual games that count for something in a full stadium, not just a preseason like 30% full stadium. Sanders matured to an extent. I think he's definitely matured a little bit. I think he was humbled. I do think Shedeur was humbled. He's saying all the right things. Ever since the draft, to be fair, he said all the right things for the most part. At least compared to Watson. Compared to Watson, he's like a saint. Compared to Watson. No, exactly, CJ. Yeah, exactly that one. Who are you? Good question, Gene. Good question. Yeah, if you're just tuning in, the breaking news, as we've been on for about an hour at this point, the breaking news, Deshaun Watson, the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, replace the Browns with this year's Ohio State team. Yeah, at least Jeremiah Smith would be exciting. Bring out the Boo Birds, yep. Mature to an extent? What are you talking about? I mean, he hasn't gotten arrested for anything. He hasn't had any allegations against him. He said all the right things. Like, to be fair, he hasn't done anything that's, very immature since coming into the NFL. Ever since the draft, he really has not said a lot that's or done stuff that makes you think he's immature. Yeah, Major Walker for Browns fans, I think so too. Right, comparison to Watson, right. That's the other thing too. That's the other thing. He still has a lot of learning to do, but he seems to have been humbled a little bit. Maybe that's why Watson's a starter. Yeah. You always have a good breakfast or good mood. Yep, there you go. But yeah, Deshaun Watson starting for the Cleveland Browns. We have not had an announcement yet. Announcement should be coming at noon. Right, most NFL players, yeah, for the most part, yeah, for the most part. Especially now in the NIL era, you're making a lot of money at quarterback. If you're in the NIL era, you're making a lot of money at quarterback in college now. So you're going to have money. Let's go Jags Stevenson starting week 1. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Browns will cut Watson this season. They're not going to because they have 128 million reasons why they can't. Would any team pick him up? No. Too much baggage, too much money. Too much baggage and money. Would be bad. Be really, really bad. That's our Tom Watson says Deshaun Watson. Yeah, they just don't learn. Yeah, the Browns going to Browns. Yep. This is entirely on Haslam. It's entirely Haslam's doing. Again, I said when I last night, I prepared bold streams knowing that the decisions going to be made today. And I said last night, if I wake up and Shedeur is starting, it's because it was Monken's call. And if it's Watson, it was because it was Haslam's call. The decision make the AFC North happy? I think it very much does, KPK. I think it very much does. Rather having a mature kid, yeah. Browns owner after Haslam will be worse than Jimmy? It'd be tough to be worse than trading for a guy with all the allegations who was out of football for a year, giving him a $230 million fully guaranteed contract for no reason. They did not need to give him a guaranteed contract. They did not need to give him a guaranteed contract. That was crazy part too. They didn't even need to do it. They didn't need to do it. Whereas Watson rank in terms of Browns quarterbacks above or below Kaiser? Oh, man. I would say, Kaiser was awful. He didn't have the baggage with him, although he was immature. Kaiser was very mature. The comments he said about Tom Brady, he was very mature. Watson was better than Kaiser. Kaiser is one of the worst quarterbacks I've seen start a full season. Kaiser could not play. I would say Watson's better than Kaiser, but if we're talking about that, that's when you know you're in trouble. Mount Rushmore bad owners, no, he's up there, but he's not on the Mount Rushmore, but he's up there. Hey, Brandon went to Baltimore. Get a third try. Get a third crack at a team. I guess a fourth crack at a team since they had the Cleveland Rams back then. Kaiser better with what he had? Yeah, but he never showed any flashes. Kaiser was never that good. He was never that good. He didn't have a lot to work with, that is true, but that defense was pretty solid. The fact that Kaiser couldn't win a game was just ridiculous. You know, if the Jags lose to the Browns, we were in serious trouble. If we lose to the Browns, our season is over. I'll put it that way. Yeah, I was starting out like a quarterback to Deshaun, yeah. At least they don't have the baggage. At least you don't have the baggage. Where Kaiser was given nothing, yeah, that team was bad, but again, he did not look good in college, let alone in the NFL. He did not look any good out in Notre Dame. I was never high on him. He wasn't completing passes in Notre Dame. I was never high on him. He very much reminded me of Hackenberg. Yeah, those ranks. If you like what you see, folks, hit the like button, subscribe. Yeah, that Browns are the worst red zone offense in history. Yeah, they could have won some games too. Coleman with the drop at the end of Week 17 against the Steelers. The game against the Titans went OT. The Packers went OT. What streamer got right? Yes, and the mom. Oh, I feel so bad for the streamer. He hopefully got out of that situation because that's awful. I feel so bad for him. That's an abusive mom. Must hit your Gator 9 for the week. Yeah, I'd be embarrassed to have Jaguars in my name for that one. Yeah, the Jaguars left the building. But again, I'm not one of them, slow motion. I think you're conflating things. I'm not one of them. I'm not saying Shedeur is good. I'm saying Watson is bad and should not be starting. This is not me saying Shedeur should start because he's good. This is me saying Watson should not start because he is not good. It's two very different things. Watson should not be starting because he's not good and he's gotten worse. And he has baggage. And he has lambasted the fans. You know, I left when he didn't get picked first round. I was supposed to see him fall to round 5. I thought he could take in day 2. I did not think he'd fall round 5. It was so funny when he did. It was really funny. Yeah, being at the draft that year, that was just nuts to witness in real time. Sanders falling that far. That was nuts. Because everyone knew, everyone was on the edge of their seat waiting for the moment to happen. Remember Oliver's son, he died at 2 years old. Apparently, I think he drowned. On that one. It's just absolutely tragic. Just way too young, obviously, and I think it was a drowning. But died at 2 years old. Yeah, I get you so much on that one. I get you there. Yeah, Mel Kiper was losing his mind on that one. Yeah, Mel Kiper, when he gets attached to prospects that slide, he kind of goes overboard. He did the same with Jimmy Clausen, where it's like, I'll quit my job if Clausen's not good. Where the one time where it's civil for the Colt to freak out. The one time. You know, it's so sad. Yeah, it was very sad. Very sad with Oliver's son. To lose a child like that is just awful. Just awful. Gotta go. All good, CNJ. Appreciate you, man. Seeing Tyler, Chuck, Jalen Miller, and Dylan Gabriel gonna take and have him is always hilarious. Yeah. The thing is that Shedeur's better than Gabriel. Gabriel has no strength or physical attributes. Jalen Milroe, I was never crazy about in college. I always said Alabama upgrade at quarterback with Milroe left. And we see that now, too. We see that now with Milroe, that he's just holding onto the ball too long. He's not going through his reads. He can't throw it down the field. Shuck was always better than Sanders, like way better. Problem was that he was 25 coming out. Problem was that he was just 25. Some of the commentators will be better than him as a quarterback in 2 to 3 years with the trajectory Watson's on. Yep. Not wrong there. You're not wrong there. He's only getting worse. The trajectory he's on, especially if he gets another injury, potentially, yeah, you can be a better quarterback than Watson. Yeah, through God, all things are possible. Through God, all things are possible. So, yeah, he's getting bad. He has gotten a lot worse. He's gotten a lot worse. A robot would be better than Watson? At least he wouldn't do anything with that. Wait, an Arizona was arrested? Wait, what? Wait. Arrested in East Palestine? Wait, what? Wait, I did not see this. Hang on. Oh, that just broke. Whoa. No contest to misdemeanor charges of disorderly conduct and possessing criminal tools. Oh, wow. Yeah, I just tweeted it out. Yep. What's the T player with the most risk but most upside in fantasy? Most risk but most upside. Yeah, emergency live stream. Yeah, Daquan Wright, clear and wait. Yeah, I would not touch him. I would not touch Wright at this point. His mind is focused on going back to college. I would not touch him. It's not fair to other players. His mind is not focused on the NFL. If your mind's not focused on the NFL, then you should be playing the NFL. Browns are 0-4. I think they have a shot starting 0-4. Yeah, Trinity, let's see if change out the helmets. Yeah, but take first pick was John Robinson. I go Robinson over Gibbs, but it's close. I take Robinson. So the T player with the most, the player with the most risk but most upside, I would say Tootin. I would say Bashal Tootin. There's a lot of risk not knowing how the Jags are going to manage that backfield, and obviously he didn't do a lot last season. It's kind of thrust into that starting role after getting rid of VTN, but I think he's got a lot of upside. I think Tootin will be the guy who's going to get a lot of carries. I think he's going to have a 1,000-yard season. So I think Tootin has a chance to potentially not be starting if Chris Rodriguez plays well. I also think he has a chance of giving 1,000 yards. So I'd say Tootin. As Jack Strand becomes a star, 0%. So I think we Penix or Tua. Strand's not going to be the guy. Again, Strand's a guy that if you have a QB spy on him, you can stop him. Strand's not a great thrower of the ball. If you have a QB spy on him, you can do it. If it's leagues, yep, we're going to set one up in a little bit too for this league, or for this one. You have to go to WKB, I guess. Yep, more breaking news there with York. Yep, more breaking news there with York. Although that seems to be a done deal. He got out, played no contest, paid the fine for like $1,000. He's got the money, and then that's that. I'm not sure what's going to happen there. You didn't win anything, slow motion. You did not win anything. You're not old. You're 30. Worst team in the NFL, I'd say right now the Dolphins. Based on how they looked in the preseason and in camp, I'd say the Dolphins. I was not crazy with them in the trenches. Yeah, Coke decision, yep. Yeah, I would say the Dolphins. They have not looked in the trenches. All my years of the draft, so one player I thought would be great but wasn't. Jarvis Jones. I thought Jarvis Jones was going to be a stud at linebacker. I loved him coming out of Georgia. And he did not pan out. I thought Jarvis Jones was going to be great. Obviously, it did not work out that way. But I really whiffed on that. I wanted the Jags to take Jarvis Jones in 2013. Granted, we took Luke Jokel, who was not good. Or NFL guys do something, I mean, whatever the charges. Yeah, it's not serious, but if it's something, they might fine him for like this conduct extra to the NFL. If you'll serve Browns, I'm a Giants fan, so I've been numb by stupidity. Yep. As a Jaguar fan, it's like I'll take anything I can get at this point. I get you so much. I get you. We'll do some fantasy leagues. Jets is the worst team? Yeah. I'm not crazy about Aaron Glenn. I'm not crazy about Aaron Glenn whatsoever. And obviously, Geno Smith, I've not been crazy about him for a while. Not been crazy about him either. Yeah, but Jets is the worst team. I could definitely see that. I could definitely say it. If Burrow's getting injured by, they'll be 11-6. If he does, it'll be 9-8. So they're going to be fine either way. I mean, that's still a winning record either way. I'm not sure Burrow could stay healthy. He holds onto the ball for a bit too long in that pocket. Like, the Jaguars had a better chance of beating the Bengals last year in week 2 when Burrow was in the game because he couldn't move out of the pocket compared to Browning. Yesterday, he made himself I did not see what happened, Kendall, before the race. I did not see that. But I'm with you, Huntflash. I'm definitely with you that you shouldn't cheer injuries. I'm 100% with you on that one. Burrow pulling Carson Palmer to get out of Cincy. I would say pretty slim because he's got everything he's wanted so far. He's got everything he wanted. They re-signed all the players they want to keep. So, final year of the contract. They added on some. There's some. They can void the contract after this year. So they can keep him after this year, but they can void it after this year too. It's not as bad after this year. Yeah, 24 Watson was probably the worst quarterback seen since 09 Russell. It was bad. I'm not sure the worst. I mean, 24 DTR was awful. Not even the worst quarterback on the Browns. 24 DTR was just atrocious. I've seen bad. I've seen the Cardinals with Ryan Lindley, John Skelton. That was just a mess. But Watson was not good in 24. No one's denying that. He was not good in 24. Top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. Right now, I'm going to say Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Matthew Stafford. Right now, I'm going to say that, although I think Prescott will win MVP this year. But right now, I'm going to say Stafford, Allen, Jackson are the top 3. If you like what Steve looks like, subscribe. Yeah, DTR someone won a game. Yeah, I don't know how he won a game. I don't know how he won a game on that one. Your Packers start line for week 1 got trash bins. Jeez. There you go. Shedeur Sanders to be a quarterback. I'm with you on that one, Salvador. And again, it's not me saying that Shedeur is a good quarterback. It's me saying that he can improve. Watson's gotten worse ever since coming to the Browns. He has not been good since he was with the Texans in 2020. Oh, you're going on that one so much. Yeah, I don't block anyone unless they're a bot. Unless they're bots, I don't block anyone. I like when people just have their way and talking. Who am I to block anyone in the chat? I don't like hive mind talk. I don't like hive mind at all. So I let anything go in the chat. Unless you're like antagonizing people or unless you it's like a racial slur or you're a bot, I don't block anyone. I blocked one person, like not counting bots that like want to advertise the game. I blocked one person in my life and that's it. Yeah, Dak needs a defense, yes. Although I think the defense is going to get better for Dallas this year. I really do think the defense will be better. Quentin Williams for a full season, Caleb Downs, Malachi Lawrence. I love what they did in the first round of the draft. You had Von Miller. I do like that. When the track was wet, he was testing out if the track was good enough to drive, but he spun out. Oh, jeez. Spun out before the race. Oh, my God. Yeah, Jed York arrested in East Palestine for 2 things. $1,000 fine. I think he might get a fine from the NFL, but I don't expect much more after that. Yeah, first place he's 100 pick 6 DW4. That'd be so funny. It'd be so funny. Can you block in football? I cannot. No, I have no ability to block. I see a slow-mo on that one. I see you. Yeah, that just got announced with Jed York. Yeah. Though that seems to be a done deal. He got out. He paid the fine, and he's on his way. Yeah, but sworn at me. Yep. Some high school football team, 134-0. Oh my God. I mean, hopefully they were putting the backups at that point. Hopefully they weren't like running up the score. If they're putting the backups, you can't tell the guys to not try. If you're just running the ball and you're scoring every play, that's a little bit different. I mean, Eric Flowers blocking straight down that. Yep. I will say Eric Flowers was not a bad guard. Eric Flowers when he moved to guard was not bad. It was what said Jed York, the Niners owner. There you go, Easter on that one. There you go. Trolls are powerless here. Yep. There you go, Gene. There you go. Yeah, 134-0. That is nuts. That is absolutely nuts. Yeah, the Niners owner. I'll send for a little bit. You guys have been awesome. I appreciate you guys' time for being here. If you like what you see, folks, hit the like button, subscribe to this episode on the channel to try to grow this community even more. Yes, some college. Yeah, well, that was back in the 1910s. Having Pittsburgh does this year, I don't think they do very well at all. I think Pittsburgh, they don't have a quarterback. I think Rodgers is washed at this point. I think I just need to gut it and start over. I think they've been stuck in rebuild. They need to be in need to do a complete rebuild. Hope we cover the spread win by 130. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. I would love that. Well, no, yeah, Georgia Tech. No, Georgia Tech against Cumberland. Jack's trying to get a regular season game, I'd be very surprised. I'd be very, very surprised. Or he wasn't like the great quarterback in college, all things considered. He's just a running guy. He's just a running guy. Probably visit family Youngstown. Yeah, sure, should be named the starter. This is a terrible decision by the factory status. I'm with you on ST. I'm with you on that one. Notre Dame should be good this year. Notre Dame should be very good. If they don't make the playoff this year, it'd be a problem. How's it going, Lauren? Appreciate you being here, Lauren. Appreciate you just showing us crap. You were not wrong on that one, Lauren. You're not wrong there. Everyone subscribe to, if you have not subscribed to She Got Sports already, go subscribe to Lauren's channel. She's awesome. Puts out a lot of great content. But yeah, no, I'm with you on that one, Lauren. I am with you. Yeah, Deshaun Watson again. Since 2021, of the quarterbacks in the NFL that throw 550 passes, there are 52 of them to throw 550 passes. He ranks 49th in passer rating. He is really, really, really bad. He has not been good since 2020, and now coming off the injury, he looked even worse against Buffalo in the preseason game, against backups and third stringers and fourth stringers, 5 for 12, 14.6 passer rating, which you know the drill on that one. Just not good. Just not good for Deshaun Watson. Not good. Lumen for 7 months. I appreciate you a ton. Thanks for all you do. Your live streams help me get through COVID. Appreciate you a ton, Lou. I'm feeling much better. That's good. Yeah, COVID sucks. I had back in February 2020. Not fun. Not fun. Not fun at all. But appreciate you, Lou. Means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Notre Dame should be very good this year. Notre Dame should be very good. If they don't make the playoff, they got some issues. The Cutting Watson right now, you have a dead cap of about $86 million for 2027. That's a nightmare. Yeah, I really think they have 128 million reasons not to start Deshaun Watson. It has nothing to do with on the field play. And I said at the time, that if Munkin's making the call, it's going to be Sanders, and if Haslam's making the call, it's going to be Watson. So prediction, I have Ravens winning it all. Ravens, Texans, AFC Championship, Rams, Cowboys, NFC. He's banned every sense of the word. Yep. Banned every sense of the word. You're not kidding on that one, Ricey. Yeah, Daquan Wright is waived. Yeah, no one should pick him up. His mind's not on the NFL. If your mind's not on the NFL, you shouldn't be in the NFL. You should not be in the NFL if your mind's not on the NFL already. Yeah, everyone's subscribed to Lauren. She's great. She's absolutely incredible. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys being here on this Monday morning, quite the way to start the week, especially if you're a Browns fan. My condolences. The Browns do have one preseason game remaining, and that game will be against the New England Patriots on Thursday over on Amazon Prime. We're not going to be on the call for that one. We'll be on the call for a college football game, an FCS battle, and we will be live for the Rams-Chargers game at 10 o'clock Eastern that night. So doubleheader in football on Thursday. We're live for the Jaguars game on Friday night. Tripleheader college football on Saturday with UNC TCU. We've got Sacramento State North Dakota State against Jacksonville State, and Memphis against UNLV. Cowboys, I have them going 12-5. I have 12-5. So caught up on the booing and the personal stuff, but like if you just played well, no one would boo you. Exactly. Right? Even if you're not a good person, fans would right? If you play well, even if you aren't a good person, fans wouldn't boo. Yeah, exactly. You're so right on that, Lauren. Yep. Look, fans forgive a lot. Look, Ben Roethlisberger was loved in Pittsburgh. Ben Roethlisberger, he did some stuff, and he's universally loved in Pittsburgh. Lawrence Taylor, notoriously not a good person. They loved him in New York. They loved him there. It's the fact that he sucks as a person, and he's calling out the fans, which you don't do. It just has not played well. It's nothing personal. It's just you suck as a player. They're going to boo you if you suck as a player. They have every right to. They paid money for the ticket. They're well within line to do it. Deshaun could start my city senior citizen league, man. Thoughts on Raiders, tough division. Not crazy about that defense necessarily. Mendoza's not ready yet, so I think it's the right move to start Cousins. Mendoza's taken a bit too long processing speed-wise. Cowboys largely make an NFC Championship, although I do think they're going to be good this year. I think the defense improves a lot for the Cowboys. I like Schottenheimer. I think he's much better at managing games than McCarthy was. You make teams hopefully don't like the Packers. I mean, the Packers have a very unique business model. I'm an owner of the Packers. Yeah, knowing this now, DW4 plays like garbage gets benched for Sanders, I think so. I think he'll get benched week 3. Right? You can't be bad at football and a bad person. You can't be both. You got to pick either or. Either or. You can like the player but don't like the guy personally. Oh yeah, there's so many guys like that. There are so many guys, even in Jacksonville. Like, there's so many guys like that. That's the thing with sports. If you're a bad person, but you're good at... people can forgive a lot if you're not good... You're not a good person, but you're good at sports. If you're not good at either, and you're owed guaranteed money, $250 million in guaranteed money, and then you antagonize the fans, no one's going to like you. You become public enemy number 1. Right? He completely contradicted himself, too. He's not winning press conferences either. Right? Don't like the player playing the game, but they like the guy. Yep, exactly. Right? Barry Bonds documented D-bag love in San Fran. Yeah, oh yeah, there's so many examples of that. So many. Who won Bills Bengals week 17? Well, the Bengals are playing a lot better. I think the Bengals would have won that game. If they played that, continued, the Bengals were dominating that game at the start. You got Buffalo, Baltimore, San Fran, LA. I could see that. And then Bills winning it all. That'd be good for their fan base. That'd be good. Barry Royds, yeah, Barry Royds. Right, you can't be bad at football and a bad person. Yeah, that's when you really get lost. That's when you really get lost. Like, Blake Bortles was not good at football, but he was a heck of a person, so we loved him around here. Conversely, there have been guys that have been terrible people, but people have forgiven them because they were very, very good at football. There are many examples of that. Look, Peyton Manning did stuff in college. Even like Jameis Winston, I don't know the redemption arc he's had, but people like Winston after the redemption arc he's had. Whether it's deserved or not is a different story, but Watson, he's making too much money. He's sucking. He's 49th out of 52 in passer rating among quarterbacks to throw 550-plus passes. I've not seen Overlooked. I've not seen that documentary. You Texas high school football starting this weekend? Yep, it's going to be hot. You have Lions being Eagles and Texas being Bills. I can see that. So you get two teams in the Super Bowl that have never been there before. Yeah, frame certificate? Yep, I have it. Yeah, it's hung up on my wall in my main room. Yep. Yeah, I have a frame certificate. Yeah, I'm not sure I have a photo of it, but I gotta take a photo and show for the next thing. I did get a ownership. I'm not sure. I think I posted the photo on Twitter like a long time ago. I bought it in 21. Right, Jimmy Switz, the PR turnaround's nuts. Like, who was behind that? I have no clue. Like, the fact he was working games for Fox for the World Cup is just nuts to me. Because he didn't like show any remorse or anything. He really did not like show any remorse or apologize or do anything like that. His PR turnaround is just. People just forgot a lot about that. We're the only time you can bet what you do and being a-holes if you have the same last name as ownership. Yep. Vikings the only team besides Texas needed the quarterback to be average. Well, that's a good question. Because the Vikings went 9-8 last year, and Brosmer was playing some games. Only team besides Texas needed the quarterback to be average. The Vikings? I would say yes. I would say... Or the Eagles. I mean, but Jalen Hurts already at that point. Like, among quarterbacks that are not good? Yeah. Watson should up his stats when he plays week one by striking the ball. He'd be 39.6 versus 14.6. 100% EP at this point. Jeez. Jackson, which quarterback has been the best one in franchise history? Mark Brunell, but Trevor Lawrence will be by the end of the season. By the end of the year, it will be Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, last year to buy 22, yeah. Yeah, I was in law school. I was a 3L in law school when I did it. Thoughts on Travis Hunter? I love the guy. I think he's electric. He's explosive with the ball in his hands. He's very good at corner. He was very good covering last year. He ran the routes for the receivers. He was just absolutely incredible. So I'm excited to see Travis Hunter this year. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see Travis Hunter. I got his autograph at the NFL draft in 25, and that's like my most prized possession. Who's better right now, Watson or McCarthy? Oh man, that's tough. That is tough, actually. I would say... Oh, man, I'd say Watson by a hair, but it's awfully close. It's awfully close. I think Watson by an absolute hair. What's Todd doing? I don't think this is Todd's call, Allie. I don't think this is Todd's call. Based on what he said in the press conference, based on what Monken said in the press conference, I do not think this was his call. I said when I woke up today, if I wake up and the emergency live stream that I put is Shedeur Sanders is the starter, it was Monken who made the call. If it's not, it's Watson, it was Haslam. Because of the money owed. Because Shedeur's played better. Not saying he's playing well, but he's played better than Watson. He at least can improve. Watson's gotten worse. And Monken seemed fed up with Watson in the press conference with the comments about the booing. He seemed fed up with the comments made. Because Monken adamantly called it out and said, look, you want to not get booed? Be a good quarterback. He seemed very fed up with that. Well, you play the games at night, Tanner. You're not playing them during the day. If you play them at night, it's not as hot. Who's Haslam? He's the owner. No, the GM is Barry. Is Andrew Barry, who had a very good draft class last year. I don't think this is his call. I really don't think Barry had anything to do with this. I think this is entirely Haslam's call. With all the money owed to Watson, I think this is entirely his call. If you're just tuning in, Deshaun Watson, the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, announced about an hour and a half ago. You have more of a financial decision than an ethical one, or even a performance-based one. After that disaster press conference, they're still going to start him. Yep, Cleveland's not serious. I'm with you on that one, Ray. Again, I don't think this was Monken's call. I really don't think it was his call. I think if Monken has his way, he's not starting a guy that has been 49th out of 52 in pass rating since 2021. That's bashed the fans. That was 5 for 12 with 36 yards and a 14.6 passer rating against some third stringers on Buffalo. I really do not think at all this has anything to do with that. I really do not believe that in the slightest bit. The Browns owner sucks. Yep, Haslam is not good. Haslam is not a good owner and hasn't been for quite some time. I don't think he ever was, but You now need to extend Watson. Can you imagine? I love they gave him the guaranteed contract. They gave the contract for no reason. That's my favorite part. They gave him the contract fully guaranteed for no reason. They were out on Watson. Look, he was going to Atlanta. And then for whatever crazy reason, they gave him a fully guaranteed contract. Appreciate you, Ezra, on that one. I know that every owner's sucking. I mean, Shad Khan hasn't done anything wrong. Shad Khan, he seems like a pretty nice guy. Still have a back. I'll get on that one. Yeah, Julian Manning, listen with you on that one. I'm 100% with you there. The rumbling here in Cleveland, the tanks being displayed. Yep, on August 24th. Yep. Bring out the tanks. Man down for Manning. Yeah, the factory sent us for that reason. Yep. Thoughts on Commanders? I'm not crazy about the Commanders this year. I'm not crazy about Dan Quinn. I don't think the offensive line's that good. I just think we saw that in the Lions game too when Daniels was out there. I don't think the offensive line is that good. Or at least the crew under has some familiar with the Ohio team. At least that. Browns will sign Romo soon. I don't know, Jim. Off the radar rookie that I think it's the tools to be good in the future. Rookie quarterback, man. Has the worst owner? He's up there. It's either him or Woody Johnson. It's one of the two. Yeah, the Browns stadium will never host a playoff game, potentially. If that thing opens in 29, they're never going to host a game. Oh, that's a good question. Off the radar rookie quarterback that has a chance to potentially be good in the future. It's obviously not a guy like Mendoza. Of the guys, I would say, oh man. Nussmeier is an interesting one. Nussmeier is a very interesting one. Yeah, Odell's going to make the team. Odell's making it. I think Odell makes the Giants. Nussmeier, because he was good in 2 years ago, but not good last year. But last year was just a mess for LSU. Nussmeier is an interesting one. Wouldn't shock me on that. But worst order of all sports is probably Montfort or Nutting. Probably one of those two. Montfort or Nutting would be probably the worst. Well, the thing with Shad Khan, I think the thing with Shad Khan is that he has a very long leash. Shad Khan, he won't interfere with anything. He's not going to interfere and make changes. He'll give you a long leash, so it makes it seem like he doesn't care. If he hires the right people, it's good. But he doesn't. I will say Carson Beck was pick number 65. I'm not sure that's like an off the radar pick. I was thinking like day 3. Yeah, Jerry Jones up there. I mean, Jerry Jones, he's obviously not great anymore as an owner, but he's not terrible. You watch some group of 6 quarterback West Houston Browns next season. Yep. Well, Hyatt should not be on the team. Hyatt should be nowhere near the Giants. If Hyatt's getting any reps, they got issues. Yeah, Laurie's really good. Laurie's a very good owner. Laurie's a Hall of Fame owner. Laurie might be the best owner in football. I would agree with that. You need to blacklist Cleveland. Yeah, I do think that Arch, if Cleveland has the first pick, that he with the NIL money, he has no reason to go to the NFL necessarily, because now you can get paid in college. You can get paid pretty well in college, and especially knowing what the Manning family has done before with Munkin's Rising. This is not Munkin's Skull. I don't think this is Munkin's Skull. But knowing 1998 or 97, Manning stayed in college, not going to the Jets. Eli Manning 04 forced his way out of San Diego. I do think that Manning might stay in college if the Browns get the first pick. Kim Morgan's ready, yeah. Deshaun Watson sign Q Radiohead because I'm a creep up a weirdo. Yep. You're not wrong there. Yeah, but Roll Tide, I don't think this is Munkin's Skull. I think Munkin want to start Sanders. I think this is ownership. Yeah, but the thing with Shad Khan, getting back to that real quickly. Dan Snyder was terrible, but he's no longer there. The thing with Shad Khan is that he doesn't have anything off the field. If he hires the right people, he stays out of the way and gives you all the resources you need to succeed. So Shad Khan will throw money at stuff, and if you're the right hire, he'll give you everything to succeed. He doesn't interfere. Kind of to a fault. Whose skull was it? I think it was Haslam. I think it was Haslam's skull. Top 5 worst owners currently: Haslam, Woody, Bidwill, Tepper, and Ross. Yeah, that's a good top 5. That's a good 5. Davis is up there. Brown, let's say Mike Brown. Mike Brown's definitely up there for worst owners. I'd probably take Ross off, put on Brown. But I can't hate on the first 4. Can't hate on that. Paying Prescott $60 million is another brilliant decision by Jerry Jones. That's actually not a bad decision. Remember, the cap is going to go up each year, so you're really looking for the percentage of the cap. Prescott's one of the top quarterbacks in football. I actually think that's the right move. I actually think that is entirely the right move. Talking with a bunch of 18, 19-year-olds getting paid like a 25-year-old Pro Bowler. It will get regulated at some point. NIL is one of those things that's the Wild West right now with NIL because there's no regulations and no one knows what to expect. The bubble will burst at some point. The bubble will burst at some point. I think Septier might be the worst owner of any sport. Shad is also up there. KPK. I think the worst owner ever in any sport. Well, Oyston at Blackpool, if we're talking like soccer all time, like across the pond, but if we're talking like here, like in the United States, I mean, that was not a bad pick. I would say, I mean, Schott is up there. Schott was fuming that her team won the World Series because she lost revenue out of it, forced the Reds to pay their own way. Also said things about an Austrian painter, that he did some good things. And yeah, Schott's probably where the bar is for the worst owner in American sports. Irsay Sr. is like one of the worst owners ever. Irsay Sr., when he moved the team from Baltimore to Indy. Thoughts on the Colts? I'm not crazy about the Colts. Speaking of the Colts, I'm not crazy about them this year. I think their defense is pretty poor. I think they mismanaged the cap completely. Daniel Jones, I'm not sure he can come back from the injury. It's going to be a tough one to come back from. I'm not sure they have a ton of talent on that defense. I don't understand why they traded multiple first-round picks for Sauce Gardner last year. I thought that was a terrible trade at the time, and it's looking even worse now. Thoughts on the Vikings? I'm hoping Kyler Murray is good. I think Murray's better than McCarthy. I think Murray's a lot better than McCarthy. I think the Vikings, this is a team that, remember, they won 9 games last year with terrible quarterback play. They won games with Max Brosmer at quarterback. They were not good at quarterback, and Kevin O'Connell still was able to have a winning record and avoid a last-place finish in the division. So, I think the Vikings can be good this year. If Murray plays even average, I think the Vikings will be a good team this year. He just needs to be average. Will the Colts be last in the South? I think it's either them or Tennessee. I'm leaning Indy. I'm leaning Indianapolis on that one. I'm leaning Indy. Yeah, 4 was a bad order, too. Yep, absolutely. Appreciate you, Ricey, on that one. Appreciate you a ton on that. Take a 7-year-old over McCarthy. At least he might hit that touchdown that he missed in week 2 of the preseason. That touchdown on the flat that was wide open. At least that. Right, last year's first half schedule was an illusion. Yep, it was. Yeah, that's a very low bar. It's a very low bar, Lennon G said. It's a very, very low bar. It's a very low bar to clear. Very low bar. All right, if you're tuning in, the news that broke about 90 minutes ago, we'll stay on for about 5 more minutes here. Stay on for a little bit longer, and then we'll sign. If you guys would also, I appreciate you guys a ton for being here for this emergency live stream. Knew I had to get up early for this one. But the breaking news, again, Deshaun Watson named the starting quarterback. Shedeur Sanders will be the backup for the first week of the season against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Deshaun Watson, the last time he won a game was in week 2 of 2024 on the road against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Since then, he has not won a game. He was hurt all of last year. Yeah, McCaskey's getting better. I think so. I think McCaskey is getting better. I would give you that. I would definitely give you that. And that is the breaking news here. I guess not breaking anymore, but it was breaking at the time. Yeah, you can only do so much because of ridiculous rules. I'm with you there. And we will be live later tonight at 6:30 Eastern Time. We'll have more developments on this. By that point, Monkey will have spoken to the press, and I'm sure we will have a lot to talk about there. Yeah, Spanos, yeah, the FU Spanos thing is real. Spanos hate is real. Obviously, if we're talking all time, Sterling is up there as well for the worst owners of all time. If we're talking all time, Sterling is absolutely up there. We have a new video on JGA. If you haven't seen it, click that link to watch. It's about something that happened with Iowa football in 1993, a bizarre controversy involving Burger King. Thoughts on the NFC South plays out. I think the Saints are the best team. I like Tyler Shuck. I like Kellen Moore. I think the Saints are the best team in that division. I have the Saints as the first. I have the Bucks at number 2. I think Mayfield's going to be more healthy, but I'm not crazy about Todd Bowles and the way he manages stuff. I think losing Mike Evans is going to make a bigger difference than people might realize. I have the Panthers at 3. Bryce Young is very up and down, and the injuries that they had in camp are just brutal, especially on defense with Sourton being out. And then number 4, I would say, is the Falcons. They have no quarterback. Yeah, I think it's gonna be. Yeah, I think it's gonna stay. It could stay KPK. Yep. Appreciate SCCO. You're a lot of fun. Appreciate your time, my friend. The Gators. Yep. Jump. I'm a Florida football fan and an Arizona State football fan. So I grew up a Florida fan. Watched Tim Tebow play all the time. I lived in New York, so I watched Florida games. SEC CBS. We got those games. So we didn't really have a team in New York anywhere near me. So I became a Florida fan. Watched them on TV. ASU fan as well because I went to ASU for law school. So Florida and ASU fan for football. For every other sports, High Point University because I went there from undergrad and worked in the athletic department. And we don't have a football team in High Point. Yeah, Michael Jordan was a bad owner in the NBA. Okay, playing the previous 3-year first-round picks. I don't know what you mean by that. The previous 3-year first-round picks? I'm not sure what you mean. If you mean like the number 1 pick of the draft? Like the number 1 pick in the draft. So Mendoza was this year. If you mean that, Mendoza was this year, 2026. Man, Islanders fan? No, I've never been an Islanders fan. Mendoza was 26 first overall. 2025 was Cam Ward for the Tennessee Titans. then you got 2024, and that was Caleb Williams at USC. Then you have the 2023 class, which was Bryce Young. Then you have the Jaguars back-to-back with Trayvon Walker in 22, and then 21 was Trevor Lawrence. 2020 was Joe Burrow. 2018 was Kyler Murray. Then you have, 2019 was Kyler Murray. Where does Green Bay finish? Right. Don't forget Liga MX. Yeah, don't forget Monterey. Yep. Where does Green Bay finish? I have them going first in the division. I'm going first in the division. I think they're the best team in that division. I think, obviously, losing Parsons for the first half of the season is not good, but I think the receivers do take a step forward, and the special teams should be better because Trey Smack has looked good. I liked him a lot at Florida. I think he's a good kicker. I think he's a big upgrade over McManus. Big upgrade over McManus. And 2019 was Kyler Murray, obviously. 2018 was Baker. 2017 was Myles Garrett. 2016, Jared Goff. 2015, you had Jameis Winston. 2014, for the first overall pick in 2014, that was the Texans with Clowney. 2013 was Eric Fisher, because Luke Jokel was 2. 2012, of course, Andrew Luck. In 2011, Cam Newton, the Heisman winner. Speaking of Heisman winners, Steven, you have 2010, you had Sam Bradford. 2009, Matthew Stafford, future Hall of Famer. 2008, Jake Long. 2007, the biggest bust of all time, Jamarcus Russell. 2006, Mario Williams over Reggie Bush. 2005, Alex Smith won the job there from the Niners. 2004, of course, Eli Manning to the Chargers, but they got traded to the Giants. 2003, Carson Palmer famously did not play a single snap as a rookie. 2002, you had Carr with the expansion Texans. 2001, Michael Vick. And 2000, Courtney Brown. 1999, Tim Couch. 1998, Peyton Manning. I don't know how far back you want me to go. I think the previous 3, but went back to 98 if you want on that one. Went back there. Then 97, Orlando Pace. 96, Keyshawn Johnson. 95, Kajana Carter, who could have been great before the injuries. Yeah, the Browns suck. Yep, I told you, JP. This entirely Haslam's doing. Entirely Haslam's doing. I don't think Monkey made the call on this one. This was entirely Haslam's doing. I had a feeling when I woke up today I was going to be doing this stream instead of the Shedeur stream. I had a feeling on that one. Yeah, but those are the ones, Shedeur. Yep. In the previous 3 year first round picks, you have those previous 5 MVPs. So you had Stafford this year, Josh Allen controversially last year in 2024. 23 was Lamar. 23 was Lamar Jackson for that one, because that was a game against the 49ers on Christmas, where you had a feeling it was either going to be him or it was going to be Christian McCaffrey, whoever won that game. Then, of course, Mahomes in 22, and then Rodgers in 21, winning back-to-back MVPs. That was the 4th of his 4 MVPs. Dumb decisions? Yeah, this is a dumb decision. Because Watson's getting worse. Again, this is a guy that, I've said before, but of the 52 quarterbacks to throw at least 550 passes since 2021, Deshaun Watson ranks 49th. Like, he is not good. It makes up for it by being a bad person as well. A loaded first round like 83 again, be tough. It'd be tough. Because that, not a quarterback. At quarterback, we're not going to see that again. I mean, we've come close, 24, 2020, but 2004, but not the way it happened in 83. 83 was like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So, Bengal fan, this is great news. As a Jaguar fan, this is good news because we play in week 1. Caleb Williams is better? I mean, it's not even close. Compared to Deshaun Watson, I think there's like 50 quarterbacks better. Like I said, Bears win 13 more games. Man, that's bold. That's bold. 13's a lot. 13 is a lot. Yeah, Crouch, I mean, that reverse play was how we got the Heisman. That was a great play, too. Yeah, Crouch deserved it in 21. Jags win 35-0. The best would be 27-0. If we win 27-0, that'd be the funniest thing. The best uniform and the worst uniform. Okay, the best uniform, I think the Jaguars Prowlers, the throwback unis that we have are the best. Also, the Titans unis are maybe some of the best uniforms right now in terms of current uniforms. The worst uniform, I mean, the Jaguars mustards, but we don't wear them anymore. Of the current uniforms, the worst one of the current unis? Oh, man. I mean, it was the Titans, and then they changed them. Yeah, they're pretty good. I'd say they're... Yeah, the news of York is real. Yep, the news of Jed York is real. Yep. It was tweeted out by Ari. Yep, it's real. It's real. Tweet out, reported by NBC or CBS. It's real. No, the Jed York news is real. But again, he got fined $1,000. He's out. Yeah, the Baby Blues are great. Yeah, the Baby Blues are really good. Man, the worst uniforms right now. I don't know what I'd say the worst uniforms are right now. Like, they're currently being worn? I mean, the worst all time is the 1994 Bears. The 94 Bears look was terrible. Browns getting number 1 overall pick. I mean, I don't think Watson starts the whole season. I think they bench him and put Shedeur in at some point. But Browns are not in a good spot, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, the worst uniforms right now. Man, I don't know. They're not really a lot of bad uniforms. Yeah, Powder Charger Blue is really good. The Powder Blue Chargers are really good. Yeah, I don't know the worst one, I would say. I would say the Jaguars aways, honestly. The Jaguar away uniforms make us look like the Raiders. The Jaguars aways are so bland, it's like Temu Raiders. So I would say that. I would say that. Yeah, the Titans just used for the throwback Oilers uniforms. Yeah, they pretty much switched to those colors. It looked great last night. The Pats color rush jerseys, yeah, color rush schemes are like hit or miss. The red 90s Falcons, yeah, they should go back to those full time. Not crazy about the Falcons as they are. At least these uniforms are better than they were the last one with the gradients, but like the gradient uniforms sucked. So at least these are better, but the Bengals uniforms are clean. I do like them. Watson's line week 1, under 200 yards, under 50% passing, 2 sacks, 3 picks. Oh, man. OT today? Yeah, we'll do OT later tonight, yeah. Not after this stream. If the Jags used to give me more embarrassing than blowing a 19-point lead against the Texans. Yeah, I would be losing my mind. I would be losing my mind if we lose this game, week 1. I'd be losing my mind. Yeah, I guess I'll see the stories next stream. Yep. Yeah, Cards. Well, the Cardinals ones look better in person. The Cardinals ones, like, the Reds are clean. I do like the rivalry uniforms as well. I do like that. Yeah, but the Jed York thing is real. The Jed York thing is 100% legit. Was reported out. TMZ tweeted out as well. I'll link the TMZ article. Yeah, Johnny Football 2012 was so much fun to watch. That touchdown he had against Duke in the Peach Bowl just was one of the greatest touchdowns I've seen. One of the greatest touchdowns I've ever seen watching that live was him in the Peach Bowl. Yeah, Cards have no defense. So the Cards are not a good team. I think the offense is not as far off as people think. I really don't think the Cards offense is terrible. Besides quarterback, that's a question mark, but they have a lot of depth. I think they have good pieces on offense. The defense it's a joke. The defense is going to be awful. The Titans game yesterday, Miller made me start pulling my hair out. Yep, I am with you. Milroe is not the guy. Milroe is not an NFL quarterback. He needs to switch positions. How many Browns take one Super Bowl? We'll never know. Yep. Yeah, it's all Johnny Football. Yep. What's that for OT? Probably 6:30, 7 o'clock Eastern time. 6:37 Eastern time. The Jags rant would be insane. Cheer for the Jags week 1, like 90% of Browns fans. Yeah, I think Jags are America's team. You need online help too, but yeah, the wide receivers are very deep. You got about 7 receivers that can make a roster. The running back, obviously, very, very deep running back lineup, and Trey McBride's best tight end in football for my money. I watched them a lot in camp. I saw 8 camp practices by them this year. The secondary is a mess, and you just spam passes in the flat. They're always going to be open. They can't cover the flat. They might score like 27 a game, but allow 34. It could be one of those. Yeah, Milroe, watching him in the preseason this year, he is a guy that cannot throw deep. He has poor mechanics. He throws across his body. He looks to take off and run at all times, even when he shouldn't. When a spy closes in, he has no idea what to do. If there's a spy on him, he's screwed. We saw that on the 4th down play that yesterday. If a spy closes in, he is screwed. It's not good. It's not good. Milroe, I think Milroe's a guy you can even, like, with Milroe, you can cut him in. I don't think he's gonna get signed on someone's 53. You can set you on the practice squad. Shout out Tree for that quote. Yep. Yeah, Tree's a legend. Haven't been through enough. Yep. Yeah, Carson Hackett's OC. Although he's not calling the plays. LaFleur is calling the plays. LaFleur is calling the plays. Hackett, I'm not sure what his involvement's going to be. Yeah, LaFleur's involvement, Hackett's involvement with the offense is not going to be that high. I really don't think it will be much. LaFleur's calling the plays. Levis get cut? I think he does. Yep. I think he'll get cut. I'm not sure they keep 3 quarterbacks. Would State could use a team? I think St. Louis. St. Louis has supported the Battlehawks really well. I think St. Louis could deserve a team. Munkins are 1 and done. Again, I don't think this is his call. I don't think Monken made the call on this one. I think this was entirely Haslam's doing. Reading between the lines on the press conference that Monken had, where he called out Watson for criticizing the fans for booing, I think this was entirely Haslam's call. Jazz, my favorite AFC team. Let's go. Let's go. Duval, baby. Duval. Yeah, I think St. Louis, I think they could use a team. Yeah, Shanahan, Hurn, and CO, the same franchise arrested. Yeah, not a good offseason for the Niners. Plus the injuries, plus the substation thing. I mean, not great. But yeah, but Hackett again. I think it's more like Press Taylor's involvement with the Bears or Shane Waldron with the Jaguars. I think it's minimal involvement. I don't think Hackett has much to do with the Cardinals' offense. I think it's gonna be LaFleur. He's calling the shots. He's calling the plays. He was calling the plays too. And Daniel, not Daniels. I saw Daniels of that. LaFleur was calling the plays in camp as well. FL and OKC, that'd be a good market. Yeah, Boise, another one. Boise could be a good market too. Yeah, OKC, that'd be a fun market for the NFL. That'd be a really fun market. It'd be a really fun one. Right, St. Louis, they need a new stadium, of course. They need a new stadium, but the market's there. Yeah, Miller's a great guy from what I heard, but next offseason make a break. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think he survives this season, but next year I'm not sure. How's it going, Isaac? Appreciate you, man. Yeah, Tree just tweeted out yes about the Watson thing, so. Yeah, Milrow, he can't throw the ball. My thing is that Milrow can't throw the ball. What Browns fans do deserve Romerdale has them as owners. Yeah, they live something in a past life. Harbaugh hire and the offseason get the Giants 8 wins or more. I'm not sure Dart stays healthy. I don't think he knows how to protect himself. I don't know. The Giants are a wild card. They could win 5 games. They could make the playoffs and win the division. I don't know. I think the Giants will win about 7 this year. I think they're going to be pretty bang average. Yeah, Jed York arrested. Yep. Yeah, for a prostitution. I didn't realize it was a prostitution bust. I know he had some disorderly conduct and criminal tools. Yeah, the tree vlog in Portland looked amazing. Yep, they almost won. I mean, they did play. It was a different lineup. It wasn't like they were playing entirely pros. Like they were playing mascots, but they look like a fun game. Look like a very fun game. Pick Cleveland week 1? No, Jaguars Cleveland week 1. Jaguars Cleveland. We play the Browns, which I'm really happy about. If we don't win that game, we're screwed. Yeah, as a Giant fan, this would be a disaster season. I don't know faith in Dart. I don't think he knows how to protect himself. That's my concern. I don't think Dart knows how to protect himself. Although Winston's a pretty good backup. Winston is a very good backup. So, yeah, Giants winning 8 games. Yeah, I could see that. Nothing would shock me with the Giants. There really would not be a lot. Oh, suspicion prostitution? Oh, man. I'm sure I'll figure out more in a little bit. Hoping 8, but overshot the last 3 years. Yep. Yeah, keep your expectations low so you get pleasantly surprised. Nobody local likes the decision? Yep, it seems that way. I don't think anyone even national likes the decision. I would say under on that. I think it's going to get benched by week 3. Yeah, Gary and I if the Jaguars lose. Yep, take the Jaguar out. Yeah, don't have much. Yeah, Nig is the OC I'm not crazy about. Right, someone to protect himself. Yep. Congrats to your week 1 win. Again, a lot can happen. The last time Watson won a game was against the Jaguars in week 2 of 2024. So I'm I don't want to say a bit worried, but look, it's the NFL. Anything can happen. Yeah, Dart's kamikaze out there. Yeah, he doesn't know. He's unwilling to do it. He'll learn at some point, hopefully, and if he doesn't, he'll be out of the league. Comes down to that. Somebody Burger King, they win somebody 13 beers. The audacity in a 30-minute stretch. I certainly when I found that story, I'm like, really? Like, you're telling your guys not to get drunk at a bar, like, go to bars and provoke drunk people? He went to a Burger King. Like, that's not what this story's about. Like, so here's the funny thing. You might notice when I did the rant on that video that the audio was different. Whopper, get a locker. You might notice on that one when I did the Burger King thing, the audio, I screamed so loud that the AI thing that I put it in, so I record my scripts, I record them on GarageBand into the microphone, and then I use Adobe Podcasts to filter the background noise. And 99.9% of the time, it works out pretty well. They didn't know what to do when I said start to use the original audio. I had to use the original audio for that. So that's why it sounded a little bit different when the Burger King, when the rant first started. Because the AI completely screwed up the audio with that. BKs, there are some that serve alcohol. Now there are. They open. I think it started like a decade ago. There's some Burger King bars. And the Browns quarterback is down on the roster for 27. I'm with you on that one. I am 100% with you. I think after this season, Barry's going to get fired. I think Watson, they can finally move on from him. Before Brian Burger King Kelly or his Iowa Zone became a fry. Yep. Yeah, but how like the audio actually came out was like actually kind of hysterical. I'm like, yeah, I can't use this. I gotta go to the original audio and just manually edit it as best as I can. And that like never happens, but I screamed so loud when I got to that part. It was so funny. Once got busy Burger King bathroom. The hump did dance, the hump. Yeah, the Whopper bar. Yeah, I think. Yeah, they opened. I know they opened those up like a decade ago. Hasn't traded Miles. Although, yeah, I didn't have that trade. Traded Giannis and then started the whole Watson thing. Yeah, what an offseason he's having. But the Giannis trade I don't hate. I don't get what the Heat are doing. I don't hate the Giannis trade. Did I have it their way though? Not with that. They didn't. Wait, Squidtard makes BK funny because it's Brian Kelly. Yes, he does. Whopper, get yourself a beer and a Whopper. Get yourself a beer and a Whopper. Let's go. Yeah, Coors, Heineken, Miller. What do you want? How much video up? Were there any players climbing through the drive-thru window? They were not. Unfortunately, not on this one. Unfortunately, no players driving through the windows in Burger King. But this one's pretty funny. Yeah, we'll do the Deion Raymond story in this week. Let's get the footage there and find some clips of Raymond, which are going to be pretty tough. But, it's long gone now, though, man. Interesting concept for a bar. Interesting concept. Yeah, treat us unthinkable things to a Whopper. God. Oh, God. Yeah, but it was pretty funny. Yeah, the Grossi event's going to be insane. The Grossi event's going to be nuts. Yeah, he hasn't put it out yet, but he's did GPS. McAfee album, it sucks. The McAfee album is awful. I get you, Loud Harvard. Yep, I get you. The McAfee album, I think that the problem with the McAfee album is that he's addressing the haters. He's making $60 million a year. You've already won. Also, the album just is like AI slop. Every beat is just, every song, every lyric is just AI slop, it feels like. Here's left on Watson's contract. Technically 2 after this season. After this season, technically 2, but they can get out of the contract after this year with minimal damage. Yet we all crave videos of football controversies and fast food, as do I. I love those ones. Feel bad for the young players on the team going to take heat because of Watson? Yep. I'm with you there. They're going to get booed like crazy. Takes 2 hands to handle a Whopper at the 2-fisted Burger King hip. A Royal Sport get arrested at Burger King drive-thru for a DUI here. Jeez. At Overland Park. Jeez. Yeah, what are my DUIs happen at drive-thru? It's probably a lot. How's it going, Preston? Did a podcast and Watson should never play down with the Browns again. I'm with you on that one. He's not a good quarterback. He also antagonizes the fans. He's a crap person. It's not Lulu, at least, Michael. No, it's not Lulu. It's very cliche, yeah. Everything is so cliche. It's generic lyrics. Probably AI-generated lyrics. Oh, yeah, I love the 74 Vikings video, yep. With the Whopper intro where I just fake out the live streaming schedule. That was great. That was so much fun. Like, what haters? Yes, you're going to have haters, but I think the thing is that he's not leading into the heel role. He's a heel, and he's not leading into it. Yeah, but I'll get 2 points. It's going to happen, jeez. Danny Duffy, man, I haven't heard that name in a long time. Haven't heard that one in a while. Yeah, so Watson this year would be $128 million in dead cap if you cut him. So you can't really do that. Yeah, football and Arby's, yeah, that'll be fun when that happens. Yeah, we'll do the Taco Bell one this week. That's going to be fun. But the Iowa one's doing well so far. The Iowa one is doing very well. Already tough day for the Browns PR team. Yep. Yeah, they're scrambling right now. They're scrambling. I don't blame them. Matthew does not talk about tables. He does not. He does not. So therefore the album is inferior. Or pillars. He does not talk about pillars either. The Dolphins stick. Yeah, the BK promotion. Yes, that one. Yep. Yeah, we had some fast events. We had the one with the Charger player who worked at McDonald's because he lost the game. He said, "I work at McDonald's if we lose." Sometimes stuff sounds like that super speak. Yeah, sometimes comments can be a little bit weird like that. Like every song, and yeah, there's other ones, but if it's different, same topic, same country, yep. So I like Ella Langley. I think Ella Langley is like very, very good. And Luke Combs, I do like Luke Combs a lot. Someone say pillars, yep. How many years have he left on his contract? So Watson has, I'll show you the contract for Watson. I'll show you the contract that he's got. Deshaun Watson's contract, fully guaranteed. This is what we're looking at for Watson. He is owed right now, if you cut him, $127 million in dead cap. Now you can void the contract in 2027. They're dummy years. You can void it, which I think they will. I would think this is it for Watson. I don't know why you wouldn't void the contract. But, 1-15, I'll jump the lake. Yep, they didn't go 1-15 at least. They did not go 1-15, to be fair. Went a lot worse. A lot worse than that. But there you go. So that's the Watson contract. They can void it after this year and be relatively okay. But this year is brutal. I don't know why they put the void years there in the guaranteed contract. They didn't guarantee it. The contract is crap. You're not kidding on that one. Military Armorist, Laughing Disco, 250 joules. Appreciate you telling that. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, the contract is just brutal. There was no need to do it, too. Like, a fully guaranteed contract for a guy that was out for a year, who has all the allegations. Why would you do that? Like it never made any sense. Had to be baptized in the lake. Yep. Had to be baptized in the lake, like Prince Purple Rain movie. Sanctified in the waters. Oh, man. Yeah, and they were out on that contract, too. And then they came back in the last second. Haslam was like, let's do this. Let's get an adult in the room. Yeah, worst trade history bar none. Yeah, at least Herschel Walker, you didn't know what they were going to do with the picks. At least the Vikings were running back away, potentially. At least Walker was good that season when they traded for him. And at least you could make the excuse that you didn't know they were going to cut the players and keep the picks. This is different. You knew this was bad at the start. He was a bad person. He was rusty. And they guaranteed it for no reason. Right, they gave away Baker for an adult. That's a crazy part. Is that Baker needed to grow up. Baker did need to grow up. He needed to leave Cleveland. It was not a good fit. He needed to grow up and mature. But you can't say we need an adult and then get Watson. You can't do that. But if you're a season goal, I'm not paying that contract. I don't blame you there. Yep. Baker's the best quarterback. Since the merger, or not since the merger, since they came back in '99, I would say yes, he is. Wish with the Falcons scam, yeah, a lot would change. It'd be a lot different. I put it that way. The Browns would be in a much better spot. Give me 40, Michael. Who's Jags starting running back? Tuden. Tuden's the starting running back. Rodriguez is the backup, and LaQuinn Allen's the third down back. So LaQuinn Allen's gonna be third down passing situations. Tuden's gonna be the primary guy. That's how it's going to go. That's how it's gonna be. Yeah, it was not a smart trade for the Browns at the time. I said at the time, and it has not been great. Browns being better shape if they kept Baker. I think he needed to leave. I think Baker was not mature. He needed to leave. Oh, things were way different back then. Yeah, they were way different. Again, the Vikings had no idea that the Cowboys were going to cut all those players and get the draft picks out of it. Either Deshaun Watson, worst contract? Yep. $230 million guaranteed for that? Yes, absolutely. You know, Ricky Williams for a whole draft class is also pretty bad, but yeah, this one is this one's probably the worst. Yeah, Mayfield needed to leave. Baker was not great in Cleveland after the 2020 season, and I mean 21 he was not good. He also was very mature. There was a whole thing with the Packers game. He didn't know he knew he was the starter, and he was staying up late playing video games and not taking it seriously, and just looked like crap on Christmas against the Packers. He needed to leave. It was like Favre with the Falcons. Favre in Atlanta was a train wreck. He needed to go to a place where there was nothing to do in Green Bay. He needed to grow up and mature, and he was never going to do that in Atlanta. So, yeah. Yeah, Browns fans get the adult in the room next season? Yep. Yeah, at least it won't be Watson next year, I don't think. Anthony Allen Jones, 2 contracts here, still not as bad as Watson. Amen to that. Yep. Yeah, Baker's a special place for heart for that game against the Raiders. Yeah, that 96-yard drive on Thursday Night Football. That was crazy. Yeah, I thought Baker was finished with the Carolina run. I thought so, too. I really thought so, too. But then, obviously, the Rams game against the Raiders, I'm like, okay, there might be something, because he just learned the playbook. That was when I was like, okay, Baker could be something, again. When he got there, like, 2 days before the game and was able to lead him down the field, that was impressive. Was Fremont one of the worst trades of recent years? Number one. Easily number one. And the Russell Wilson trade is also judged by hindsight. Yep, absolutely on that. Don't break them to be that bad. Don't break them to fall off like that. You last booze ever by a home team week 3? I think so. Especially if they start 0-2 and he's still starting and he's not good? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I wonder why Green Bay didn't consider promoting Rita for Holmgren Ditch for the Seahawks. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that. Would have been a lot different because obviously they had their coaching issues between Holmgren and McCarthy. Had their issues there. Yeah, 3 days after the Bucs and someone similar against the Saints. Yep. Moved to Arizona was at one point, even though not a Cardinals fan, they could have bought season tickets. Well, I didn't want to. It was one of those I never wanted to. Because I would have sold all the tickets. I never would have gone to a game. I would have never gone to a single game. Unless it was a primetime game. I never would have gone. But, like, theoretically, you could buy season tickets for the Cardinals. Yeah. Theoretically. theoretically, for upper deck, I mean, it's not bad at all. Theoretically, it's not bad. Oh, no, he's not going to play next year. Watson, if he's not good this year, he's not playing. Too much baggage, too much of a head case. You don't want the circus that comes with it, especially for a guy that's not good and that's regressing. But we all knew the Watson trade was going to be awful. They got both the paper bags, yep. Right, Rhodes was meshed. Sherman got multiple playoff wins. Yeah, really was when McCarthy got there that everything changed. But Rhodes was very meh. That game against the Panthers in '99 was brutal. That's going to be a dumb decision. That's going to be a dumb decision. Episode of the Packers-Panthers game 1999, not calling the timeout. That made no sense. The Packers not calling timeout in that game in '99 against the Panthers is one of the worst things I've ever seen a coach do. I mean, you should just go away, Anthony. I'm with you on that one. But yeah, if you know the play, Packers-Panthers '99, that will be a dumb decision at some point. Historical dumb decision. Tomorrow's video is going to be Patriots related. Back in 1988. Right, they're all gone now, but yeah, it was a steal. Yeah. No, Cardinals, I mean, Cardinals tickets are not terrible. They're pretty affordable. Can O'Brien judge him fairly? Yes, very much. He was a good quarterback. He just wasn't Marino. The Browns may ask why they're keeping him. The press conference is coming up soon. The press conference is coming up in just a little bit. Yeah, but Ken O'Brien was a good quarterback. He just was not Dan Marino. So I think he was judged unfair. No, not the Week 17 game. Nope, not the Week 17 game. Nope, not Week 17. It was, I think, Week 14? Week 15? It was I think it was 14. You know, NYC season, yeah, New York season tickets are nuts. Like, D-back season tickets are, like, super affordable. Super affordable. At least Shedeur Sanders, okay, you're not wrong on that one, Dan. At least, compared to Watson, he's like a saint. And McCarthy was Rhodes' quarterback coach, yep. Yeah, the game in 99, the December 12th, 1999, Week 14. The end of that game, you're going to be like, why the heck did Ray Rhodes do what he did? That'll be a dumb decision at some point. Do the Packers play the Panthers this year? They do. Oh, that's a primetime game. Okay, we'll save it for that. We'll save it for that. Packers-Panthers is a Thursday night game. That'll be the video that drops October 29th. The Browns crazy? Yeah, I think Haslam, it's sunk cost fallacy, Randy. I think it's sunk cost fallacy entirely on the Browns' part. It's the idea that we owe Deshaun Watson so much money, and we might as well just stick with him and not admit our mistake. We're in too deep. Because he's looked terrible. I mean, he looked bad against third stringers in Buffalo last game against Buffalo. Went 5 for 12 with a pass rating of like 14. Baker, I think he stays with the Bucs. I think he stays. I think he's going to play well this year with the Bucs. Maybe not as good as he was a couple years ago with Mike Evans there, but I think he was playing hurt last year, and it was very clear. No, PSLs, I hate PSLs. Hate PSLs. Yeah, the sprint, yeah. Yeah, the sprint season. I know Atlanta United's doing a good thing with the sprint. Yeah, that's another decision, Dan. You're not counting on that one. Yeah, no, Atlanta United's doing a good pricing with the sprint season, which I think is like kind of an asterisk. Betting favorites for winning dumb decisions, McCarthy. I'd say McCarthy's the favorite because he's not going to get fired mid-season, and he was a dumb decisions king. So I'm guessing it's Mike McCarthy. Panthers like the playoffs in '99, they go out in the wild card round. Maybe divisional round. So the Browns holding their press conference. Wait. Hang on. Bulls gets scanned. Robinson gets promoted head coach. I don't think in the middle of the season he gets scanned. But if he does middle of the season, I'm going to go fact. Yeah, Carlos on the Saints. Yep. Ranked up by Vegas. I wasn't great with Vegas as of late. You've always got 3 straight primetime games for some reason. Yep. Grogan, yes, he was a quarterback. Yep, Grogan was a quarterback. Yeah, pass rating of 14 for Watson in that game, which you know the drill on that one. You know the drill there. Yeah, that was it's a dumb coach move with the Patriots in '88. $20 Popular Foods, man. Yeah, so '88, the video that's coming out tomorrow is a dumb coaching decision where the coach didn't know the score, and it turns out that game eliminated the Pats from the playoffs. So good idea not knowing the score of that one. Yeah, Thursday night, week 3, the Monday night against Saints for the 20th anniversary of the return to the Superdome, which I get, and then Sunday night against the Ravens. Yeah, I don't know why they gave them 3 straight primetime games. I don't understand it. Makes no sense to me because I don't think they're going to be that good this year. But we will see on that. We will see there. Do I think it ain't? Oh, wait, okay. I was going to say on that one. I was going to say there. But the new video on JGA, if you haven't seen, click that link. But October 29th, we'll do the dumb decision on Panthers. So October 29th with historical dumb decisions on that. So I will make a note of that since that's a Thursday night game. And I always like doing a video on the Thursday night. So that'll come out then. Birds never get the same QB1 for a team again? I think at some point he will. He's got the physical tools to do it. I think he's very raw. If he matures, I think he... some team will take a flyer on him. think some team will take a flyer on him. Think you know what game that was in 88? All right, I'll get on them KPK. I mean, you can swore if you want, if you think you know what game it was. If you think you know what game. Yeah, the coach didn't know the score. I'll put it that way. He said we did this because the score was this, and the score was not that at all. And, yeah, probably Rainberry should have been fired after that one. After hearing that press conference, probably should have been fired for that one, but they brought him back for 1 more year in 89, and it did not work out. But it was not Rod Rust, at least. It's one of those where you could probably fire a coach after missing the playoffs. Browns on decisions? Yep. Not knowledge in certain numbers. Yep. Not wrong there. Yeah, he could be QB1 for Cleveland. Could be QB1 for Cleveland. And the Browns will meet soon. Browns are a tier of their own for their worst organization in the NFL. The Jets are in there. The Jets are in that tier with the Browns. With Woody Johnson as the owner, they're in that tier. But they're at the bottom. Whatever the bottom tier is, the Browns are in it. The Browns are in it. What are they doing out in Cleveland? I think it's sunk cost fallacy, Trovex. It's entirely sunk cost fallacy. It's entirely Haslam's doing it. I don't think Monken had anything to do with it. I really don't. I don't think Monken had a say in this. Based on the press comments that Monken had, criticizing Watson for criticizing the fans, for booing the team, like criticisception, I think this was entirely that. No, I don't see a link so far. I'm trying to see if there's a link. So I want to stay on to see if there's the link, but if there's no link, we'll just sign off. That's why I'm staying on. I want to see if there's a link for the press conference, but there's nothing so far. There's nothing so far. So I want to stay on for the press conference, but if not, we'll sign off. Kyle Allen looked more like an NFL star than Watson. Yep, based on the last game. Based on the last game, at least against the Bills. Take for Johnson, sell the Jets. He'd have to be forced out at this point because they have so much money. Yeah, I'm trying to see. There's nothing on their YouTube channel. That's why I'm staying on at this point. There, just to see. There's nothing on their Twitter. I'm trying to see. I don't see anything. I'll stay on for like 5 more to see if the cloud emojis are getting the Trent Baalke emojis. Yep. ESPN Cleveland has not done anything live. Only trade for Haynes King. Be exciting at least. Be exciting. It's fun to watch in college at Georgia Tech. It's fun to watch. Oh, wait. Hang on. Wait. Apparently Browns fans are... Okay, according to a Browns reporter, or a reporter who was nominated for Emmys, reporter for the Akron Beacon Journal, give a lot of press conference. How embarrassing. Can you imagine? Even Shane Buchanan look worse, better than Watson. According to this, there's no video yet. I'm waiting for the vid. But... apparently at Browns training facility, fans are driving by protesting. Apparently fans are driving by protesting at the Browns training facility. So it shows you how the news is taken, and seems like 88% of you agree that this is not the right move to start Watson. So, there's no video from Toro Lagos, but I don't think she's lying about this. Reporter for the Akron Beacon Journal, Emmy-nominated journalist, just waiting on the vid to come out, but when it comes out, I can't wait for that. But they are not happy in Cleveland. I think that goes without saying. I'm not surprised. Yep, they're taking the news well. I'll put it that way. They're very much taking the news well. And they should boycott. I'm with you. You have a quarterback who's... it's not just that he's not good. It's all the allegations, everything he's done, and he's spit in the face of the fans. You don't spit in the face of the fans like that. You know when the fans are ticked off? Yep. When the fans are that ticked off, that on a work day they're driving by and yelling and protesting, that's when you know. That is when you know on that. Just not a good spot. Not a good spot to be in. But the Browns had it coming. It's entirely the Browns are doing. Had a perfect season parade. Maybe it's time for the perfect quarterback parade. Yep. This time moving to St. Louis. Let's start over with a new team in Cleveland. Start with a brand new team. Oh, wait, Browns are live. Browns are live. Okay, hang on. Browns are live. The Browns are live. Okay, hang on. Let me get my headphones on. I'll link the press conference. The Browns are live. Here we go. Browns are live. He said it's not week by week. They're not taking it week by week. We're excited about Shedeur's future. This is not a week by week decision. He has almost counted dollar bills. Yep. Okay. Indecision words close. Okay, so Monken, both guys close. Close decision. Mr. Penwood said. Right, name a guy star hasn't played good ball since in high school. Yeah, that's sad. Yes, it's 2020. Yeah, Brent's life was too much Taco Bell. Yeah, there you go. Okay, things don't go the way they go. Is it a flexible decision? I don't anticipate that being the case. That's what we do. It's not a quarterback question. It's a everybody's position question. So, week by week. So, basically, he didn't even say he's a start for the whole season. He said, you got to prove it. He said, Deshaun's not week to week and they chose to move the ball. Yeah, I've caught that earlier. Something that Deshaun did to separate him. Okay, that's the next question. Nothing specific. Man. Oh, God. You could tell. The fact that the reporter asked, was there anything Monken did specifically? Yeah. Was there anything specifically that Watson did to get the job? Not really. If we go winless, I don't think winless. It's that close. Okay, feels good about both quarterbacks. What was keeping Shedeur from getting the spot? Okay, that's the next question. Some of it was... I'm not going to get into that. We felt over the course of training camp and the offseason that he was ahead of Shedeur. Shedeur's closed that gap. Credit to him, but Watson's ahead of Shedeur. The drafted 0.5 overall. Got to lock a new spot. Yep. We're about week 1. Okay. So, putting our best foot forward for week 1. Yep, the conference is now. I'm just transcribing it. We're only halfway through training camp. We got this week, next week, got the whole game prep for Jacksonville. Yeah, it seems like it is Haslam. Yeah, Jimmy Haslam's the worst thrower in the NFL. Yeah, it's either him or Johnson. It's one of the two. Bill was up there. Yeah, nothing specifically did. Yeah, crazy. Browns first games on the road. Does it help? I think it does, because it'd be a rude reception in Cleveland. It'd be a poor reception in Cleveland. Yeah, 35 years later doesn't change walk-off. Yep. Yeah, it's like got a gun to his head. It really does feel that way. Being on the road, Operation Silent Cadence. So, wow. So, the reason Watson won the job, actually, going back to the road thing, KPK, Silent Cadence. Silent Cadence. There's only going to be 40,000 fans for the Jaguars game, because it's the stadium's under construction. So, part of the reason they start Watson is Silent Cadence. You don't need a Silent Cadence in Jacksonville. It's a 40,000-seat stadium with the construction. What? Oh my God, I feel bad for Monken. You can tell he's praising Shedeur this entire time. Like, he's closed the gap, he's played well. I like both quarterbacks. I'm not committing to Watson on a week-to-week basis. The fact that you have to say Silent Cadence is the reason for the road games to start the season off. Oh my God, in a 40,000-seat stadium. No. Oh my God. Monken, blink twice if you're okay, man. Okay, now question about the fan base. How would you take the fan base? Okay, here we go. Monken's regretted his life choices. Why did I take this job? Okay, so the fans are not happy. Did not take any of the fans into account. Nothing to do with the fan base. Clearly, because obviously otherwise Watson would not be the starter. You're probably going to crash out and blame him. Yep. The fans want us to win. Ultimately put a good product on the field. That's what they want. So it's our job as coaches, when we're hired, to try to put the best product on the field. We don't understand the frustration. Ultimately, the fans don't decide. Yeah, today on it gets worse. Yeah, no one outside the building decide who plays. Man. He said the press conference from the show was going to factor in this. These are good questions. The media is grilling them. The media is asking the right questions here. You think Jimmy forced him to play? I think so. Yeah, no Crabshaw. Yeah. Said yesterday with the booing. He bleeds like we bleed. 22 months of working to get back from the injury. Give himself another opportunity for the Browns. Yeah, Monkey wish he was back in Baltimore right now, yep. That I respect. Sure, was he hurt? Yes. I also said yesterday, okay, I don't like being booed either. I like when we jump offside at the end of the game. We earn that booing. We earn our respect by how we play. I feel like everything's contradicting itself. It's like no fans are gonna make the decision, but also the fans are frustrated because our product sucks. I feel like it's very contradictory. We're starting Watson. The fans had nothing to do with this. The fans don't decide. Yeah, Monken's struggling. He's struggling. If the ball game was allowed second boo, yep, so much for that. If he starts week 3, it might be a new record. Your factory is status. And if they start 0-2. No chance, Anthony, no. Man. To have the Browns being an organization that people aspire to be. Jeez. Yeah, the long game. The people, they want the organization to, people to aspire. Yeah, what long game? You'd have the Bills Bucks to say. Yep. No, they only have one prime game this year. Yep. Yeah, he's truly like. You know, Shedeur, yeah. Like, he's praising Shedeur this entire time. It was privately. Alright. Met with him privately, now going to meet with the team. Perspire, not aspire, then expire. Like, he's praising Shedeur the entire time. He's not really praised Watson. He has not praised Watson once this press conference. He really is not. He knows he can't defend this. Yep. How's it going, Keenan? Saw them live. Yep, this I found out about this. I'm found out about this. Yeah, Cleveland's hopeless. I'm with you on that one. I'm with you there. Yeah, Flacco just randomly off the couch decided to be good. This is hysterical. He has not praised Watson once during this. He's praised Shedeur more than he's praised Watson during this press conference. This is kind of impressive, actually. He does not want to make this move. Just reading between the lines. Oh my god. Yeah, he knows he can't defend this. But again, I don't think this is his call. Based on the press conference, I don't think this is his call. He's not praised Watson once. He's talking about Shedeur closing the gap. He's in for the long haul, and Shedeur's been great taking the news, and he understands what we're trying to build here. He has not praised Watson's play once during this. The fans are saying, oh, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. He hasn't made his move by paying Watson $250 million guaranteed for no reason to. I think if I went to Deshaun that year, good defense. That's how good defense. Spilson was for the second half of the Bills-Browns game on radio after work and saw the Watson press comments. What the heck? Yeah, this is Haslam's call. It's sunk cost fallacy. It's entirely sunk cost fallacy on their part. Oh, another clip show? Oh, man. Well, that sucks. Yeah, I'll never do a clip show. You don't have to worry about that with me. Pull a picture of the champagne flow with dealing with the overpriced veteran that stinks. Yeah, with Russell Wilson, yep. And there's a press conference right now. That's why we're staying on. Been on for over 2 hours at this point. If you like, we save that like button, subscribe. Okay, they understand how important it is to the collective group. epicenter of our communication. You're like, yeah, it's all good, Nick. Yeah. Yeah, it's like repeating himself with a lot of stuff, but he has him lost money. It's sunk cost fallacy, Nick. Yeah, but it's entirely sunk cost fallacy. And 88% of you agree with the fan base that starting Watson is a bad move. Here, the boomer's raining through the radio. Yeah. For a preseason game, that's what you know. If they're booing in preseason like that, that's what you know. Okay, so Dylan and Taylor will play Thursday night. Yeah, Dylan and Taylor will play a lot Thursday night. So I get that from Monken. So I get that. Dylan and Taylor are going to play a lot. But they'll make up their mind on who the third quarterback's going to be. Yeah, Watson's hard number of his career. Yep, got to end the streak. It's got to end at some point. He beat us in 24. The last time that they won a game, or that Watson won a game, was 24 against us. Had a number when he was with the Texans. Got to do what we got to do. Got to take care of business. We don't win week 1, the season's over. With that schedule, we don't win week 1, the season's over. There's no excuse not to win week 1 at this point. You consult with Andrew Berry about the decision. Let's see. Yeah, they're going to have a field day, Greenberg. Yep, you're not kidding there. A major decision is an organizational decision. Oh, God. Oh. He didn't say yes. Oh. Oh, my God. You can read between the lines on that. Yeah, the Jags have to win week 1, yep. Oh, my God. That was a yes or no question, and he sides... Oh, no. Yeah, absolutely ready, yep. Oh, my God. Just read between the lines on that. I'll go back in the live feed. I'll go back. Hang on. I'll play. Hang on. Let me go back and find it. Oh, no, it was bad, JP. It was bad. It was bad. Okay. I'm going back in that. Barry? No, that's the GM. No, you're thinking Jim Schwartz. You're thinking Jim Schwartz on that one. Yeah, there's a car crash for the compilation. Yep. Yeah, here's the question. Ready? I am going to show this one on stream. I am going to show this one. Okay. This says it all right here, okay? Said yesterday you were making the decision on the quarterback. So the question was, the reporter said, yesterday you said you were going to make the decision on the quarterback. Okay, this is your call. Okay, this is your call. So I want to know. He's left the podium? Oh, man. Yeah, so again. So the question was, yesterday you said you were announcing a quarterback and you were going to make the decision. Did you consult with other people before making the decision? Yes or no question. Yes or no question. And this is what he said.
Any major decision, right, is an organizational decision.
Yep. You can read between the lines on that one. Yeah, just age 10 years when that press comes in. You can read between the lines on that one. The reporter asked, you said yesterday you were making the decision about who's going to start a quarterback. Did you consult with Barry beforehand? And he said, it's a yes or no question. You can easily say, I made the decision. This is my call. He said, Nope. With anything, it's an organizational decision. He never said Haslam's name, but you can read between the lines on that. You can read between the lines. I'll put it that way. You can very much read between the lines that this was not his call. You can read between the lines. And yeah, I just saw the press. Like, kind of like blink twice if you're okay. Yep. Might be the new worst story. Yeah, if it wasn't already. You know, like he never even like. And the thing too, like then another reporter asked how confident did Watson get the reps with the ones that he needs, and Monken said, "I feel confident." He never praised him. He never praised Watson during this thing at all. The only time he came close to praising him was coming back from the injury. That's all he ever praised him for. He praised Shedeur more than he praised Watson during this. You're not wrong, Nick. Yep. Why did I Coach Browns? Why did I just stay where I was to retire? You fancy a boycott? Yeah, blink twice for being held hostage. Yeah, that is a train wreck and a half. He never praised Watson. Outside of coming back from the injury, he never praised Watson. At all. During that entire press conference, he never praised Deshaun Watson. He praised Shedeur more than he did than that. Yeah, it's entirely him saying Haslam did this. Oh, man. You know what the brain or conscience do? This is a horrible decision? Yep. This soul has them, yep. Tons of Michael Jackson songs? Oh my god, that's tough. I have to only pick 10? I mean, Earth's Song is up there. Earth's Song might be my favorite. Obviously, Man in the Mirror. Oh, that is tough, Miles. That is tough. Man in the Mirror. Earth's Song. Will You Be There? Leave Me Alone. Billie Jean, of course. PYT. The Way You Make Me Feel. Black or White. You Rock My World. That is tough. And Rock With You. Let's go with that. Yeah, it might be the longest one ever. Yeah, it might be the longest one ever. Yeah, Jed York also picked up a Rest Ohio. Only paid $1,000 fine. You want to start 1-3 games to be surprised? Me too. I think we'll get benched halftime week 3. Based on this press conference, I think he's getting benched week 3 at halftime. Says, happy birthday, Kenny. Happy birthday. He uploaded the AFC North predictions in the middle of watching stuff. Ooh, man. Bad timing there. Bad timing. Yeah, what's about go with the Miles Garrett said, like, thank God I'm not there anymore. Thank God I'm in Los Angeles on a team that actually is run functionally. Yeah, based on that press conference, this was not Monken's call. He never said it. He's not going to say, oh, that's a great song too, Randy. He never said, this is Haslam, but he never really, I'll give it 11 minutes. He never praised Watson during that. They play the Bucks week 2. He never praised Watson. Yeah, another part of a great song. He never praised Watson outside of coming back from the injury. He praised Shedeur every time he could. He never praised Watson at all. Outside of coming back from the injury. When he was asked, did he make the call? He said it was an organizational decision. This is, yeah, you can read between the lines on that one. I said it at the time. I said it. If I wake up and I'm doing this stream and it's Deshaun Watson's start, it's going to be Haslam's call. And if not, it's Monken's call. But Watson or Sanders are not playing against the Pats. Monken benches Watson, Haslam fires on the spot. Wouldn't shock me. Honestly, would not shock me. You burn a pipe on this? Oh, man. I can't wait for that. Yeah, but Watson and Sanders are not playing week 3. So it will be Dylan Gabriel and Taylor Green to play game 3 against the Patriots in the preseason to figure out the number 3 spot. But Watson and Sanders, their preseason is done. So they're not playing anymore. So Deshaun Watson, his preseason ends as he goes in preseason 16 for 27 with no touchdowns and an interception. So that's how Watson ends his preseason. He's not playing game 3. Neither is Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, Monkey Environment. Yeah, I could see him defying. This feels a lot like the Jaguars in 2019, where Tom Coughlin wanted to play Nick Foles and Marrone wanted Minshew. It very much feels like that power struggle. And the Browns have always spun the curse wheel. Yep. Yeah, Heal the World's a very good song. I do like that one a lot. Yeah, Jed York. Yep. Only $1,000 fine. Probably got a fine by the NFL as well for the misdemeanors, but I don't think it's gonna be too big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. I don't think. Yeah, but I think this is not the work of. Yeah, the entire third one was goated. I do love Baby Mine. I think it's a great song. Baby Mine is a great song. Never got the love it deserved. But just reading between the lines on the press conference, with how he talked about Shedeur, how he didn't praise Watson at all outside of the ability to come back from an injury. Never praised him at all. About leadership or anything like that. Yeah, if you say balls much about the Jaguars game, yep. Yeah, 7 which were singles, and they were all successful. Yeah, that album was great. Really was a great album. Yeah, The Girl's Mind is the worst song on the album. Yeah, I would say so too. Lady of My Life is a good song. Lady of My Life is a very good song. It's a slow ballad, but it's a really good song. The ending on that is like very like you can see like a lot of Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars is inspired by the ending of that one. Yeah, but that is the news. The press conference is done. And yeah, Deshaun Watson starting. Again, I do not think this was Monken's call. I said at the time, and especially after watching that press conference, reading between the lines, I do not think that was Monken's call in the slightest bit. Best thing for the Jags is to lay a 50-burger on with 2 pick sixes. The damage is limited to 1 week. You would think, because Monken said it's not for the whole season. He said we evaluate everyone week to week. Like everyone's got to earn it week to week. So everyone's got to earn it. So I never committed to Watson for the full season. All right, Jackson, week 1, let's go. Welcome to Duval. Welcome to Duval. You know, absolutely. Still Jay Daniels with 5 is still the biggest loser. Yep. Still the biggest loser. But man, that is just a brutal press conference for a decision that was clearly not his. A decision that was very clearly not his. Just reading between the lines. I know Jackson for week 1. No, because the thing is that I watch all the games. The problem is that I can't watch all the games if I'm not streaming. If I'm not streaming, I have all the TVs out for like all the 8 games. Well, I don't think it's gonna be JP. I actually don't think. I think Bunkin will change it. Will override Haslam at some point. Lift the blackout. You have to remember too. So the Jaguar game is not just about me not streaming the Jaguar games. You have to remember with that I have 4 TVs in my office. I have a ton of TVs outside of my main room. So that's my way to be able to watch all the games. I can't watch all the games if I don't because I have a Sunday ticket. I watch all the games. The Jaguars are on the big screen, but I can't do that. Also, like the announcers, I do need to hear the announcers for that. But yeah, that's part of the thing with that. Yeah, the command center. Yeah, I have a command center pretty much outside. I do not have in the office. Otherwise, I would consider it, honestly. I would consider it. All right, so on that note, we've been on for 2.5 hours. You guys have been awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. That was a fun emergency live stream. That was a fun one. So here's the game plan. We'll be live at 6:30 Eastern time. We'll be live at 6:30. We'll do OT. I will, we'll obviously have more to talk about with this, as well as other stuff taking place in the sports world. Yeah, Force wants to start if he changes his mind that has one just fire him. Yeah. Could see that. But enough's enough at some point. I think Monkey might think, okay, I'm losing my job either way. Let's go for it. T for Red Zone? No, because I have all the games, so I don't need Red Zone. I don't pay the add-on for Red Zone, because I have all the games anyways, so why pay for Red Zone when I can just make my Red Zone? So we will be live. Yeah, Buckets, Fire from Entry, Watts week 3. That would be pretty funny. Would be pretty crazy. But again, he did not praise Watson during that press conference. I don't think Monkey made this call. I think he was told from upstairs by Haslam what the quarterback's going to be, and he's just a scapegoat for it. he was thrown to the Wolves in that press conference. That was entirely a throw into the Wolves scapegoat kind of thing. Appreciate you guys a ton. New video on JG8. New video will drop on JG9 tomorrow. We're live at 6:30 for OT tonight, 6:30 Eastern time. Appreciate you guys a ton. Yes, thank God you found the 12 p.m. presser, found the media set. Yep. Because that was well worth staying on for that, because that was something else. Take care, guys. See you soon. Deshaun Watson named the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. See you guys later tonight.